couple of teams with identical records of 2-2, and the game underway on a sunny afternoon in Pittsburgh. Stone gathers it in at the 2-yard line. He's got some running room. Hit and dropped at the 30-yard line. A good return by Dwight Stone of the Steelers. Finally stopped by Gordon Brown on special teams of the Colts. So Pittsburgh will begin, and here's the way they'll start offensively. Steve Bono has tossed 3 touchdown passes. Their starting quarterback, Ernest Jackson, the top rusher in the NFL with 250 yards. And, of course, Linnell Alston will say forever that he started in place of John Stallworth. We had a penalty against Indianapolis on the kickoff, which was declined by the Steelers. And you see their offensive line bolstered by the return of Mike Webster, who has been to the Pro Bowl 8 of his previous 13 years in the league. First down from the 30 for the Steelers. Fumble on the first snap, and Jackson falls on it for the Steelers. So Bono fumbles the first snap from center.
You have to wonder if he pulls out too fast. He's moving around. It's just a low snap. That's something that should have happened the first game of the season, not the third game for Steve Bono. And I think he's a little bit nervous.
It's a loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 13 now for the Steelers. As you look at the Colts defensive lineup, Scott Keller up front is the veteran who came back to play. All the linebackers were in camp. Grimsley has 19 tackles. The give is to Jackson. Jackson has good running room off the right side, up to the 42-yard line, and a Steeler first down. Mike Pryor, the free safety, stopped him, but after a 14-yard run by Jackson. There's the secondary for the Colts. Jim Perryman is a returnee. Pryor and Jones have 2 interceptions each, and of course last week this Colts defense had its first shutout since 1976. They beat the Jets 6-0. First down for the Steelers at their own 41-yard line after the 14-yard run by Jackson. Jackson now realigning behind Bono, the quarterback. In motion, Carter. The give, Jackson. Same play. Another good gain just shy of midfield. The ball came loose, but after he had hit the ground, it's no fumble. Mike Pryor again makes a saving tackle after an 8-yard gain. Jackson, 250 yards to lead the NFL coming in, has his running shoes on here early.
You said watch the motion, the quick pitch. Let's see the block. It looks like he caught a knee. 44 Carter caught a knee in the head. I hope it's okay. That always hurts when you catch a knee in the back of the head when the helmet's down. Very dangerous to put your head down in football.
There is Carter being helped to his feet and a little woozy. Carter out of Purdue, a 6-footer, 222 pounds, and a former 7th-round draft choice of the Steelers last year. Spent all of last year on injured reserve with a knee injury. Ernest Jackson already has carried the ball twice for 23 yards.
One trap, one quick pitch, and you look at the plays. They're simple. They attack the line fast. They're trying to utilize the quickness and speed of the offensive line in the backs of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2nd and 1. Straight ahead, the give, and it's good for a Steeler first down as Jackson carries for the 3rd straight time. Don Thorpe made the tackle for Indianapolis. Dwight Stone has come in to replace Rodney Carter. Stone number 20, as you see the figures on Jackson early in the game. Other figures on Jackson. He's 5'9", 225 pounds. Imagine getting behind those tough linemen crawling in between your legs. It's tough to get a guy like that.
This drive began on the Steeler 30. They're into Indianapolis territory now with a first down at the 47 of the Colts. Jackson again tries the left side this time. And the Colts defense it a little better. He's across the 45 down to about the 44-yard line. Thorpe from a defensive end spot. And Mike Pryor, the free safety, who's already made 3 tackles today, finally get him down for Indianapolis. Rodney Carter had a hip pointer on the play in which he was injured a few moments ago. We don't know yet if he will be back. As you see the Colts sideline, Ron Meyer has won 5 of his first 7 games as Colt head coach. 2nd and 7 for the Steelers. Jackson up the middle, inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line of the Colts. Scott Keller, the nose tackle, the veteran who has come back to play, making the tackle on Jackson. And the Steelers are intent on giving the ball to Jackson, appears about 30 times a game.
They might give it to him all day long. Why put the ball in the air if you don't have to?
And for the Steelers, John Stallworth makes his first appearance in the lineup. He needs one catch to get 500 for his outstanding career. Ernest Jackson already has carried 5 times for 34 yards. This is 3rd and 2. Bono will put it up for the first time. And it's complete down to the 30-yard line. No, did he drop it? They'll say he did hold it long enough to the 30. Jim Perryman, the safety, covering on the play. It'll be a Steeler first down as Hogue makes the catch.
Quick drop back. He's sending a lot of receivers deep, a man short. Hogue catches the ball. Watch him put his hands on it. He's down with 2 feet, and the ball's stripped after he's down to the ground. It's a good catch, good completion.
So Hodge, I think he pronounces it, is good for the first down at the 30 of the Colts. First down, Steelers. Stone gets a yard or 2 before he's thrown back by the Indianapolis defense, led by inside linebacker Bob Ontko, the rookie out of Penn State. Expecting a crowd of 35 to 40,000 at Three Rivers today. Again, their 119-game sellout streak ended. Since the strike began, they were first in the NFL, as Washington and Denver with longer streaks had theirs broken by the strike, and Pittsburgh's comes to an end today. It's the first home game for the Steelers since the strike began. 2nd and 8. Play action pass. Bono across the middle has a man wide open. Down to the 6-yard line, Dwight Stone for another Steeler first down. Perryman and Pryor sandwiched him, but it was a 24-yard strike. Bono to Stone, and the Steelers have it 1st and goal.
When you drop a lot, watch the lineman. Look at 74. Terry Long pull left. That gives the distorts the defense. They think it's a trap. The ball's thrown in the middle. You can see him sandwiched, but it's a good, tough catch. But it's the offensive lineman giving the trap look that distorts the pass coverage.
Dwight Stone, the rookie out of Middle Tennessee, shaken up on the play, but made a big reception for the Steelers. They'll have it 1st and goal when we come back. The Steelers took the opening kickoff from their own 30. They have it now 1st and goal at the Indianapolis 6. You see what they've done on this current drive. Dwight Stone shaken up on that last play after making the reception. He is replaced by Chuck Sanders, number 45, in the backfield, as John Stallworth comes wide to the right, needing one catch for 500 in his career. Fumble. Bono falls on it. That's the 2nd fumble of the exchange between the center and the quarterback in the first drive of the Steelers.
Both of these fumbles came after some kind of a pause in play. There was a period where Stone was hurt on the ground there. They were waiting. I think Bono, if he thinks too much, gets too relaxed, or gets some time to get nervous, he's got to get in the game, get the sweat up, get too tired to be nervous.
Chuck Noll has won 4 Super Bowl titles, and if you said the Steelers were tough, as you did in the open, Dave, they reflect their coach, Chuck Noll.
The first Pro Bowl I was ever in, Chuck Noll was the coach, and he scared the dickens out of me.
6 defensive backs in for the Colts on 2nd and goal from the 11 for the Steelers. And Bono, confused by the defense, calls the Steelers' first time out. So Steve Bono, who was in the Pittsburgh camp earlier and a former 6th-round draft choice of Minnesota, reading the defense, saw something he didn't like and calls a timeout. So we'll be back with the Colts having it 2nd and goal in a moment. Consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the National Football League is prohibited. Dwight Stone on the Steeler bench just had the wind knocked out of him. He'll be all right.
We call it the tube of toothpaste dealing. Kind of squeeze him and the cap's on, he has nowhere to go.
Steelers 2nd and goal from the 11. The Colts try to defend this 2nd and goal situation with 8:43 left in the first quarter. Bono under pressure. Intercepted. Intercepted by Lee Davis in the nickel situation for the Colts. He's taken down at the 10-yard line, but not before he makes a big defensive play to save a critical situation for Indianapolis.
Okay, the good point about this is Steve Bono's looking. He's looking for more receivers. He finds one. The bad part is he lost the ball. If you're going to make a mistake in the end zone, throw it hard, overthrow it, throw it toward the out of bounds. The out of bounds marker has never had an interception yet. Watch how the ball's lofted in the air, allows him time to come in and intercept it. He could have thrown the ball to the back flag. If nobody caught it, then the play would have still been 3rd down.
7th interception in 3 games for the Indianapolis Colts, who have been hot in that secondary, leading the NFL now with 16 takeaways. Flag stops the play. It looks like illegal motion by the Colts. And as you take a look at the takeaway leaders, Tom Dooley calling the penalty on Sid Abramowitz, the right tackle of the Colts, who moved prematurely. There's that takeaway. The leaders, the Colts, was 16 after that interception.
First down.
In college, Ara Parsegian once stood in front of us and said that the team that has the most yards gained will win 52% of the time. He said the team that makes the fewest mistakes, interceptions and fumbles, etc., wins 92% of the time. So that's what the statistics do for you. Just look for the turnovers and you'll see the winner.
8:34 in the first quarter before Dave got his first Notre Dame plug in.
Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame.
Colts. Offensive line opens up a pretty good hole for Chuck Banks, who brings it up to about the 8 or 9 yard line. Let's take a look at that Colts starting offense now with Gary Hogaboom injured. Blair Kiel. Normally the Colts' third quarterback gets his first NFL start. Among the receivers, returnee Murray, second in the AFC in receiving yardage, and running back Chuck Banks had the AFC's top rushing game last week, 159 yards. Take a look at that offensive line, all replacement players. 2nd and 10 now after the 5-yard gain by Banks. He's the lone setback behind Blair Kiel. And gets the call again. Fumble. And the Steelers have it. Albert Williams recovers the fumble for Pittsburgh.
Well, they're trading turnovers. You've got two 67s working against each other, Plants and Dunn. Now, Plants is doing a good job at him. But you've got to cover that ball. There's no real defensive pressure. Nobody hit him. You just got the ball stripped. First play of the game or second play of the game, don't fumble it. Don't give it up.
So Pittsburgh gets the ball back on the 11-yard line. They have it first down at the Indianapolis 11 after the fumble recovery. Steelers give it away. The Colts return the favor. We had seen the quality of play in these replacement games increase as the weeks went on, but not so in the first quarter here.
Well, what I'm seeing is I'm watching linemen block linemen well. But what I'm also seeing is mistakes that you would have looked for in the first game. The fumbles, the snaps. Those really shouldn't be here, but the linemen are really playing well.
Stone and Jackson, the split backs. The fumble stands after it was reviewed by videotape. Jackson plowing his way straight ahead and takes it down to the 3-yard line. Ernest Jackson, the workhorse for the Steelers. Good blocking up front, and Chris Scott finally makes the stop for Indianapolis.
Watch Blankenship 60 right to the left of Bono. Pull from the left side of the ball to the right and trap the man. That is a trap. You see how it creates the hole. It's when a man from one side of the ball pulls across the ball to block a man on the other side of the ball. You get hit from the side, and it's tough if you're not looking for men coming from your sides. It's tough to figure out which one of those guys is going to get me.
2nd and 2 for the Steelers from the 3-yard line. They can make a first down. Bono lost it for the corner of the end zone. Touchdown.
Hey, hey!
John Stallworth, number 500 in his career receptions, and another touchdown. That is his 62nd NFL touchdown.
One of Pittsburgh's favorite plays. Just go to the corner of the end zone. Again, throw it back to the corner. Stallworth is the only one there. And I'll tell you, John Stallworth has made a million catches like this in his career. The tough catch, the great catch.
One of the all-time NFL great receivers gets the game ball after catching number 500 in his career. We asked him what it would mean to catch number 500.
You know, it puts me in a category with some receivers that over the years have done some great things, and it makes me very proud to be in that category. 500 catches means a lot. I wish the circumstances were a little bit different, coming on the sort of heels of a strike and not having all my teammates around. I think makes it takes away from it a bit.
Stallworth with a reception for the touchdown. Trout adds the extra point, and the Steelers take advantage of the turnover to break on top of the Colts 7-0. One of the greatest receivers in NFL history, John Stallworth, just catching number 500 in his 14 seasons, his 62nd touchdown. And, of course, those 12 postseason TDs are an NFL record. What a career. John Stallworth, member of the class of 1974 among the draftees. That was your class, wasn't it?
Some of us just couldn't make it that long. I tell you, he's impressed me his entire career. I think he's the best receiver by far the Steelers have ever had.
Trout will kick it off for the Steelers. Kelly Johnson deep for Indianapolis. Takes it at the goal line. Twists and turns and is stopped at about the 16-yard line by Gowdy on the special teams for Pittsburgh. Cornell Gowdy with the tackle, and the Pittsburgh defense, which got the turnover a moment ago, comes back on the field, helped tremendously by the return of veterans Williams and Dunn, the latter a starter 7 of the last 8 years. Linebackers are all replacements, but Apke has made 15 tackles, tops among the replacement players. In the secondary, Donnie Shell returns to his familiar strong safety spot, where he has more interceptions, 50 of them, than any other NFL player at that position. 1st and 10 from the 16 for Indianapolis. Kiel on the play-action pass. Strike is complete down to the 30-yard line. Mark Bellini, who crossed the picket lines on Wednesday to make the deadline and play, takes it for a 13-yard gain. He's a rookie out of Brigham Young, making his first NFL catch. Tyrone Stone made the stop for Pittsburgh with help from Dave Edwards, but the Colts have a first down just shy of the 30-yard line. First start for Blair Kiel. The last time he started a game, he was playing for Notre Dame.
What's that school?
Notre Dame. That's how many times have we mentioned it? We're at quarter yet.
Hey, they've been around a long time.
Banks plows straight ahead. He got about 4 yards before Gerald Williams puts the stop on him. Banks with 159 yards against the Jets last week, the 8th highest Colt single-game rushing performance, and the tops in the AFC this year. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry coming into the game.
Pretty good statistics. We'll see. It's hard to play a football game with statistics. You throw those numbers at them, they bounce off those defenders.
Banks has carried 3 times for 9 yards today. The Colts are 2nd and 7. Pitch it to Banks. Steelers defended well. Steve Apke led the charge for the black-shirted defenders, and Craig Bingham got a piece of it as well. Ron Meyer on the sideline as you watch the replay.
Takes an entire defense. Watch, the offensive linemen are doing their job, but look at number 90. Apke, he's just wipes right off. The man who was supposed to block him, he kind of picked him off the defensive lineman, went in there, made the play. A lot of times you don't have to take on the block if you can pick him off of somebody else.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 7 for the Colts. See the total yards of the scrimmage from Chuck Banks out of West Virginia Tech. Long count by Blair Kiel. Threw it badly, and Shell almost intercepted it. The intended receiver, Joe Jones, broke one way. The pass went the other, and Shell almost had number 51.
Now you look at the formation. You see 98 and 92, they have a lot of stunts. They're also coming with a safety blitz. Now, what you want to do is have a side adjustment. Blair Kiel says, I got a blitz. You have to run a quick route. But Jones, probably, who doesn't have the NFL experience, didn't understand that. He didn't run the quick blitz route, and you almost had an interception. It's what you call inexperience.
There you see Charles Lockett deep for Pittsburgh as Blair Kiel, the quarterback, also the Colts punter. This one sort of goes straight up, but it gets a good Colt bounce. Still has a good Colt bounce. And will roll dead inside the Steeler 20-yard line. So Kiel, who came in averaging 34.6 a kick, gets a good roll and gets credit for a 50-yard punt. We've got a timeout with 4:37 left in the first quarter, and the Steelers leading the Colts 7-0.
You know, the weirdest things happened to me, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, here I am stocking up for Halloween. I got my steaks, got my ribs. Then when I asked the stock boy where the Coors Light is at, he points me to the Coors and Coors Light Halloween display, and I'm on it. Whoa, it's like deja vu. Whoa, it's like deja vu. Look for it where you buy beer. I shop here because they slash prices. There goes another one. Happy Halloween, darling.
If you ever thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, think again. Norelco puts close and comfortable right in the palm of your hand with a revolutionary system that shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. With a patented lift and cut system that lifts each hair so it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. A shaver that defies logic gives you a shave that defies belief. Norelco Rotatract, where close and comfortable come face to face.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes sets the standard for cereal.
There's something about the taste.
It's got kind of like a little nutty, crunchy taste to it. It's delicious.
The simplicity.
You open that box up, you put the milk in, slice up some bananas. Do you have any handy?
The crunch.
And it's like having a little party inside your own mouth.
That make Kellogg's Corn Flakes part of a breakfast people feel special about.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes really has it all. And I don't think that there's anything else that compares to it.
Corn Flakes from Kellogg's. What more could you want from a cereal?
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Jets battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Tom Hammond and Dave Casper back at Three Rivers Stadium. This is the Colt coaching booth. What are they doing?
Well, you snap a picture of the defensive alignment right when the ball is snapped because you don't have time to figure it out. Now they're trying to figure out what are they giving us? What are they going to look like? And they'll bring that board full of pictures in at halftime to show the quarterback.
So they had some Polaroid snapshots there looking at the way the Steelers lined up. Steelers have a first down at their own 18-yard line, and Ernest Jackson breaks through and takes it all the way to the 32-yard line, a 13-yard gain, and another Steeler first down. Harriman and Pryor, the safeties, making another saving tackle. They've been busy today defensing the run. All right, NBC Sports, as always, bringing you up to date on all the scores around the NFL with a 10-minute ticker. Houston has benefited from the strike. They're tied right at the moment. As you see the other scores, Cleveland and Cincinnati, a big game for Steeler fans in the AFC Central. Jackson again gets the call, stopped at the 35-yard line. Got about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up. Keller and Elko making the stop for the Colts. Jackson already has had a day's work for many running backs. As Chuck Noll going with his whole card. Jackson had a great game the first week of the replacement football, but then last week against the Rams had only carried a few times. He only carried 8 times against Los Angeles after having over 100 yards against Atlanta. Bono complete. Stallworth again. Number 501 is good for another Steeler first down as Mike Pryor takes him out of bounds, but a 12-yard gain. Stallworth with his second catch of the day.
Steve Bono, no one ever says he can't throw the ball. Watch him rifle it out there. He gets it there fast. Watch Stallworth. Just make sure no one gets him. He's looking. He's a veteran. You watch how he keeps his eyes to find out where the pressure's coming from. He says, I'm going to last another game, guys.
John Stallworth doesn't have that particular worry, but Bono's gotten the ball to him twice today. Bono has thrown 4 touchdown passes. It's a first down for Pittsburgh at the 47 of the Steelers. The handoff went to Stone, and he was hit just as soon as he got the ball. The Colts say they have it, but no fumble. But Stone will lose yardage on the play. That time the Colts had it smelled out pretty well.
Look at Perryman as a strong safety coming on a little. They have a little extra people coming there. There's penetration for the weak side. You can't allow the penetration to get to the play before the ball was not supposed to go where it was. The penetration got there before they got to where the ball was supposed to go, which was the right side of the offensive line.
Sweeney and Clinkscales are the wide receivers now as Stallworth goes out. Stone in motion. Bono back to pass. Knocked down at the last moment. A good defensive play by Ricky Chapman, the linebacker, who was covering deep. Intended for Stone out of the backfield. Chapman had him all the way.
Steve Bono looks to the right. You see now he looks to the left. He's doing a great job at quarterback on this play. Really looked over the whole field. Now you have to give Chapman credit for covering a running back that far downfield.
Chapman is another defensive player on this Colts squad out of LSU. He's 6'2", 230 pounds. And on third down. Third and 14. Plenty of time for Bono. Sweeney, the intended receiver, incomplete. Brian Jones covering on the play for Indianapolis. There's a flag down. And it's going to go against Indianapolis. There's another crucial Colt mistake. They would have had the punt, but instead it's going to be a penalty against Indianapolis. roughing the passer call against the Colts. It's called against Chris Scott, the defensive end of Indianapolis, and it is a very, very costly penalty.
Look at number 72 there. Boy, I tell you, this used to be a tough game.
Well, that was a bit picky, wasn't it?
Well, the official, maybe he's a little bit nervous here. I don't understand.
It gives the Steelers a first down at the Colt 42. Jackson trying to get outside. Turns the corner, out of bounds at the 38 of Indianapolis. Would have been 4th and long for the Steelers. They would have had to punt from their own territory. Instead, they have a first down on the Indianapolis side of the 50. Gain of 3 yards by Jackson. 2nd and 7 coming up as Ron Meyer has a word for Scott as he hits the sideline.
Sometimes it's not what you do, it's what you don't do that makes you a good football player. If you don't get the penalties, you don't make the big mistake, you're of value to your coach.
Meyer won the first 3 games as Colt coach at the end of last season, and 2-2 this year. Bono, incomplete, intended for Hodge, and another flag go.
Flag on the play.
350 pass interference. 51 defense. Touchdown.
Bob Otko called for the interference, and another crucial Indianapolis mistake. Right now, the Colts are beating themselves.
That was close to being legal. If that would have happened on the line of scrimmage, he could grab him.
On the right of the screen, you see that Onko, trying to tackle him before the ball got there, called for the interference. First down, Steelers at the 36.
Now, if he could have done that in the backfield, it would have been legal. But when you get downfield, you got to leave him alone.
Steelers leading 7-0. 2 minutes, 19 seconds, first quarter. Bono, screen pass to Jackson. Defensed well by the Colts. He stopped at the 35, down to the 34, and Jackson took a hard hit there. Elko and Chapman really smacked Ernest Jackson, who's still down.
Terry Long, number 74, first block's down. Now watch him show up on the screen. He's going to peer. Here comes Jackson out there with the ball. Now watch Terry Long just whipping right around the corner. There he is. Now, why did Jackson go in there where all those ball players are? There's these mean guys lining up inside. If he would have stayed to the outside, I think he would have got more yards. But it's easy to see it from here. Watch, look at that. Bono's playing it well, looks downfield. Here's the screen. Now you see, I think he could have played it to the outside.
I believe Jackson, if he'd have cut outside, would have had the screen of the blockers and would have done better as far as gaining yardage. He turned back inside and not only was stopped after a short game, but took a pretty good hit. Steelers had 9 first downs to only 1 for the Colts. 7-0 Pittsburgh. 1:48 first quarter. 2nd and 8 here for the Steelers. Bono's pass off the hands of the intended receiver Hodge and incomplete. Play. And the Steelers have a 4th down coming up.
Play was there, just didn't connect.
Bruno, John Bruno, the punter, is on for Pittsburgh. Bruno out of Penn State. His average 36.8 on his punts, 10 of them so far.
Let's see if they actually put. They're going to have to leave the regular defense in there. They don't expect them to really kick this ball because if you kick it out of the end zone, you're only going to get a 32-yard kick, and if you just get it to the 20, there's only 12 yards you're gaining.
Mike Pryor is a token deep man for Indianapolis, and Bruno will indeed kick it. Just sort of a bunt punt and try to get it out of bounds. Did he succeed? No, it's a touchback. It'll come back to the 20-yard line. So the Colts will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20 on their first possession. The Colts coughed it up. Pittsburgh took advantage of it for the only score of the game. Tom Hammond and Dave Casper, Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. We have 56 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Steelers holding a 7-0 lead. Sunny afternoon in Pittsburgh. Crowd 35 to 40,000 on hand. A reminder, we will be selecting a Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game coming up at the conclusion of the contest. From the 20, the Colts have a first down. Chuck Banks, the only running back behind quarterback Blair Kiel. Banks, the man that fumbled the first time the Colts had the ball. Set up the Pittsburgh touchdown. Banks, tough running, takes it to the 24-yard line, a 4-yard gain. Gary Dunn, the veteran nose tackle, makes the stop for Pittsburgh.
It makes a tremendous difference if you have an anchor right in the middle of your defensive line that they can't really push out of the way, that keeps the inside pressure so they don't have a cutback. A nose tackle in a three-man line is just indispensable. Since he came back, I think you're watching Pittsburgh really make a difference.
Banks out of West Virginia Tech doing a good job, averaging 6.4 every carry for the Colts. Played for Houston last year. 2nd and 6. Kiel, flag down, pass incomplete, intended for Banks in the flat. It's going to be another penalty against Indianapolis. 13 seconds left in the first quarter. They'll step it off again against the Colts. Marshawn Graves, the starting left tackle of the Colts, 3 years out of Arizona, 6'4", 265 yards, guilty of the penalty, the 4th against Indianapolis, and setting them back to the 14-yard line. Well, they'll face a 2nd and 16.
He was caught holding Gerald Williams to another veteran to kick across the lines. That added skill sometimes draws penalties.
Bellini is in motion. Kiel ducks away from the rush and will run with it. Slides down at the 20-yard line. Albert Williams, the outside linebacker, with help from free safety Dave Edwards, taking Kiel down as he scrambles to the 20-yard line. And the gun sounds to end the first quarter of play. Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. At the end of the first quarter, the Steelers leading the Indianapolis Colts 7-0. We're back at Three Rivers. Dave, the Steelers dominating the first quarter, though they only lead 7-0. And we were just saying a shame that more people couldn't be here to see a milestone set with John Stallworth.
500 balls. And John Stallworth, one of my heroes, when I played with the Oakland Raiders, we had fights with the Pittsburgh Steelers. John Stallworth catching 500 balls and only 25,000 people here. It's a shame. I would have come here just to see him do that. I'm glad I was here.
So a little respect from a fellow receiver. John Stallworth catching, if you missed it earlier, number 500 and later number 501 for his sterling career, including his 62nd touchdown. Indianapolis 3rd and 9 from its own 21. Kiel has a man across the middle. It's incomplete. No, it's picked off on the tip. Picked up by Pittsburgh. It's Dave Edwards. He crosses the goal line. Will it count? It was off the hands of Mark Bellini, right into the hands of Dave Edwards. Well, that's the old tip drill they practice on, and it works to perfection.
You can't drop balls. Now the ball's a little bit high, but that's a catchable ball. You got to catch it. Blair Kiel threw it a little bit high. He threw it hard, but hey, he was open. He was not threatened by anybody. Bring the ball down.
First career interception for Dave Edwards, and it puts Pittsburgh in good position. Ray Pinney into the offensive line for the Steelers. Sanders and Jackson in the I formation. First down at the 27. Jackson, no. Kept by Bono. He still got it and out of bounds. Bono, I think, was going to hand it off and just couldn't control the ball and ended up trying to run outside with it. The ball bouncing and got it back.
Let's take a look. No, he just didn't get the snap again. You know, Steve Bono's doing some very good things as a quarterback, and the things he's doing wrong are things that are correctable, but things that really he shouldn't be doing at this stage of the game.
It's been a game of mistakes so far. The Steelers have taken themselves out of points with some mistakes. And Sanders might have bumped him to knock the ball loose. Is that what happened?
Well, you know what might have been, he should have opened up to his left for a reverse pivot, as they call, so you don't have that happen. In the case that we saw there, I think he opened up the wrong way. That's a mental mistake.
Jackson takes it inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. It'll be third down coming up for the Steelers. Don Thorpe and Ed Grimsley making the stop for Indianapolis. And the Steelers, their possessions wound up in an interception way down in Colt territory. Got a touchdown pass to Stallworth, and they punted. The only score of the game came after a Colt fumble, and the Steelers here trying to take advantage of an interception against the Colts. 3rd and 7 from the 24. Bono hands it to Sanders. Sanders still on his feet, down to the 10. The ball loose, but they'll rule it down. Still the possession of the Steelers, who will have a first down at the 10-yard line. Mike Pryor stopped him, but a 14-yard gain by Chuck Sanders.
There's your trap. Look at Blankenship 60, trap them, spread them out, and run them right up the gut. It's a lot of teams love to do it. Third down, spread them out, make them think pass, split them right up the gut.
At the 10-yard line, the Steelers will have a first down. Sanders on his second carry of the day. Gotten 16 yards off the 2 carries. And they stop the Steelers as they come up to the line of scrimmage, and they're reviewing the play on videotape. Video review to see if the fumble does indeed stand, or whether it's ruled down as the officials called it. There's Tom Dooley, who heads the officiating crew.
Further review by the replay official. The play will stand.
So for the second time today, the replay official agrees with the officials on the field, and the Steelers retain possession. They have 10 first downs in the game to only 1 for the Colts. Jackson got about 3 as he plowed straight ahead behind that Steeler offensive line. Brian Blankenship, the left guard for the Steelers, leading the interference on the play.
Now watch how short and low he is. He's 6'1". All the guards and centers. Look at how he comes inside out. He stays low all the way across, gets leverage on Thorpe, who's a good ball player, and makes the play. All of the Pittsburgh interior 3 are not over 6'2". In fact, Long is only 5'11", the shortest lineman in the NFL.
2nd and 7 for the Steelers. Jackson already has 71 yards on the ground in the first half. Bono for the end zone. Incomplete.
Did you say me? You say me?
Pryor and Wright had double coverage on the intended receiver. Stallworth is wondering why the ball didn't come his way.
One thing he did this time is he threw it hard where it wasn't intercepted. He learned from his mistakes the last time. He drilled that ball, and nobody could have got to it,
including John Stallworth, and it makes it 3rd and 7 for the Steelers. On 3rd downs today, the Steelers have converted 2 of 3. Bono is hit on 5 of 11. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Bono pumps and is sacked. Don Thorpe takes Steve Bono down for the sack, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Now everybody's going to be covered. There's 2 types of sacks. One's a quick pressure sack. The other one is a coverage sack. Everybody's covered. He can't get the ball to anybody. Sooner or later, your protection has to break down. So credit that one to the defensive backs.
David Trout on to attempt a 29-yard field goal. He's missed his only other field goal attempt. That was from 32 yards. Kick is up. And he shanked it. Trout misses from 29 yards. He's 0 for 2 in the field goal department now. And the Steelers fail to take advantage of the interception. 12-12 left in the first half. John Bruno is the holder for Trout. Did he get a clean hold on this one?
Well, if the ball's not put down in the exact spot, he'll either shake it or push it. You see how he trapped the ball on the ground. There's a good chance he didn't get it in the right spot. Now watch number 10, Bruno, look down. I think he thinks that he contributed to that missed field goal.
So far, Pittsburgh has dominated the game, even though they only lead 7-0. They've run 30 plays to 9 for the Colts. They've had the ball 14.5 minutes to only 4 minutes for Indianapolis.
The Colts, they have to be able to manhandle people and move the ball, and so far the Steelers have been too tough to manhandle.
And our thanks for the welcome. Always fun to come to Pittsburgh, and a beautiful day in western Pennsylvania today. Expecting temperatures up into the 70s. Kiel hands it off to Banks, who takes it to about the 22-yard line, a 2-yard gain. Today's game is brought to you by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Tony's Flakes of corn with a sweet frosting. By Head & Shoulders Shampoo. Now your good grooming is Head & Shoulders above the rest. And by GTE. GTE. Tom Hammond and Dave Casper, Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. 11.5 minutes in the first half, with Pittsburgh leading Indianapolis 7-0. Second down for the Colts. Pass is complete for Indianapolis. It's complete to Hawthorne for a first down, or just short of the first down, I should say. Cornell Gowdy makes the stop for Pittsburgh. They give him a spot only to the 27-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Indianapolis. Hawthorne, the H-back, or one of the tight ends in the 2 tight end alignment for the Colts, who are 0-2 on third down conversions here in the first half. 3rd and 3. Kiel tosses it complete. Noble out of bounds, and he has a Colt first down. Cornell Gowdy chased him out of bounds, but Noble, who had gone in motion, took the swing pass and got a Colt first down.
The flow of the offense went to the left. Watch Gary Dunn over the center. Look at the defense is going to our left now, thinking it was kind of a sprint out run. Noble was in the flat, and he made a miss on a tackle to get the first down. The quarterback, I mean, as a receiver, you either get the first down in your pattern, or if you know you don't have it, you've got to make a man miss to get the yards necessary for a first down.
3 of 5 for Blair Kiel. That was the 8th reception of the season for Noble. First down at the 32, Indianapolis. Play action pass. Good protection. Nice catch. It's good for another first down as Tim Kearse made the catch, took a good hit, but held on for a 15-yard gain. Craig Bingham popped him pretty good. Dave Edwards also got a piece of him, but he managed to hang on to the football.
Great protection that time by the Colts. If they can get protection like that and Kiel can throw the ball low and hard, they're going to move the ball down the field. I think the Colts got to start throwing the ball. I don't think they can run it on the Steelers.
Flutie starting at quarterback for the Patriots today and has New England in front. First down at the 47. Indianapolis trailing 7-0. 10 minutes to go, second quarter. Banks, nothing there. Stop for no gain on the play. Gerald Williams, second-year veteran out of Auburn, a former second-round draft choice, just overpowered the opposition.
He who hesitates is stopped for no gain. They pull the lineman around. Now watch Banks. He thinks here, no, here. You'll take the ball and run it up in there. If you hesitate, you are lost.
Banks, who had that sparkling game a week ago, 159 yards on the ground, 181 yards total offense, has been held to 14 yards on 7 carries so far today. Kiel's pass complete. Into Steeler territory for a first down. Mark Bellini making his second career catch. And Donnie Shell, the veteran, chases him out of bounds. Bellini, the man who had one go off his hands for an interception earlier, but he makes this one good for 14 yards and another Colt first down.
Bellini out of BYU's got good speed. They expect him to have good hands. So far this season he hasn't been. But look at him come through the offensive line. He's open, catches the ball, runs down the field, and gets out of bounds. He's not too big.
Bellini, 5'11", 185 pounds, a 7th-round draft choice. He crossed the picket line to play on Wednesday. A former walk-on at BYU who wound up with 146 catches. First down for the Colts, 38 of the Steelers. Kiel going for it all. Overshoots Bellini, incomplete. Meanwhile, over in the corner of the end zone, Tim Kearse was wide open. Larry Griffin defending Bellini on the play. Blair Kiel had a man in the corner wide open, didn't see him. There's the man that was wide open, Kearse, number 85.
A receiver has to have patience just like a quarterback. There's going to be times in a game when you are open. A lot of times you're going to end up much more open after the ball's thrown because they go to the ball and you're in the end zone saying, why didn't he throw to me? Well, if you let that bother you, your game's going to go down the tubes. What you have to say is, hey, that happened. Let's line up this play and hope I'm open again and hope he sees me this time.
2nd and 10. And Kearse is wide to the right this time. Pressure. Kiel throws it complete. I don't know how Banks made the reception. There were Steelers all over him, and he gets a couple of yards out of it before Steve Apke hauls him down.
Now you're going to watch him set up a screen, but watch number 90 there in the middle of your screen. He's got Banks man-to-man. If one of those linemen can understand that and say, and look for a guy following him, if one of the linemen can say, if there's somebody man-to-man on the running back in the screen, if I can find him and block him, the screen's going to work because everybody else is in man-to-man way down the field. So if it's against the zone, you're looking at air. If you can read man-to-man, look for the man who's got the running back.
3rd and 9, Indianapolis. And Joe Jones, the tight end, left early. That'll be 5 more yards against the Colts, who've really been hurt by penalties in the first half. A fumble led to the Steelers' only score. They had an interception and managed to hang on as the Steelers missed a field goal.
It's difficult to come into Three Rivers Stadium sometime and play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even if there are only 25,000 people, it's still the Steelers, and it's still Three Rivers Stadium. It's imposing.
And the Colts have never won here. One of 13 teams never to win at Three Rivers.
Have a false start. Offense.
Well, Joe Jones, number 81, at the left of the screen. That was 61, Marshawn Graves. And, of course, on the other side, Joe Jones had already gone downfield about 5 yards.
You know, but technically a tight end, if he can jump off sides, come back and set up again, because you can always get out of your three-point stance and shift. So unless a man hits the tight end, they didn't blow the whistle. As long as he's downfield, you got to come and hit him off sides to make sure he is off sides. When the lineman set up, that was the penalty.
So the penalty against Graves, who pulled up early. 3rd and 14. Noble in motion. Pass incomplete, out of the hands of Jones. He would have been short of the first down anyway. Albert Williams was covering on the play, and Jones, out of Virginia Tech, the leading receiver at that school as a senior, unable to make the grab. Blair Kiel starting today for the first time and attempted only 28 passes coming into today's game.
Edwards is reading Blair Kiel's head. He's right in the middle of the field. Now, he's there to make the play, but I'll tell you, that was a good pass because it was low, and it was a place that only Jones could get to.
Kiel will punt on 4th down. Lockett is deep for the Steelers. There's Kiel. First one, almost 50 yards. Lockett lets it bounce. There's a flag down. The ball out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. We'll check the penalty marker.
Too bad we didn't have that official on an ISO, because he threw that flag like a javelin. He sat back there, wound up, and he threw it, and it only went 15 yards. They had to cut him.
It'll be a hold against the Steelers. You know what I saw one time? I saw a flag stick in the helmet of a player. I think it was one of the Cleveland Browns players. It stuck right in above his face mask, and so some of those refs do have good arms.
Oh, I think they put 10-pound weights in there, and they put streamers on them and everything.
42 on the receiving team. Post-possession foul. First down.
Penalty is against Edwards for holding. So the Steelers will have possession. They'll start from deep in their own territory. When we come back, Pittsburgh leads it 7-0. There are your opposing coaches. Chuck Noll on the right, the 5th winningest in NFL history, 172 victories. And Ron Meyer has won 23 times, formerly coached at New England, went to the playoffs for the Patriots. A couple of veteran coaches in the NFL. In fact, Chuck Noll, counting his time as a player and an assistant coach, celebrating 35 years in the NFL in 1987. First down for the Steelers at their own 8-yard line after the penalty. Jackson can't get outside, is spun down at about the 10-yard line by Ed Grimsley. There's Grimsley, number 56, lives in a famous football town, Massillon, Ohio. Famous for all their high school football there, and was actually looking for a job in Canton, Ohio, when the call came from the Colts to join the replacement team.
Also,
Jackson, excuse me.
Well, also, he's only 6 foot tall, and he appears like he didn't have the skills to play, but once they put him on the field, he's shown a lot more.
Ed Grimsley has been a pleasant surprise for the Colts. 2nd and 7. Jackson picks his way forward, close to the first down. Well, Terry Long, the right guard for the Steelers, is the shortest offensive lineman in the NFL, at least before the replacements came in. 5'11", 265 pounds, doing a good job, number 74.
Well, look at him pulling. One thing about a person who's short, when he pulls, he's always low and has power. You look at, he puts on a good, but, you know, Anko makes a good play. He takes that load on and gets off and makes another play. Those linebackers aren't that bad either. I mean, you imagine taking a guy that's 5'11", weighs 265 pounds, probably can bench 3 or 4 people, and he gets into you. If you can get off and make a tackle, you're not doing a bad job.
Ernest Jackson, the veteran, number 1 rusher in the NFL, coming into today's game. And the teams that have rushed successfully have been successful in the win column normally, too. Last week, let's take a look at the teams that averaged over 5 yards a carry. You see that Pittsburgh was one of those. They're the only one of that bunch to have lost their game a week ago.
Last week, Pittsburgh dropped a lot of passes, a lot of crucial passes, had penalties. I think they had a touchdown called back. Again, you can look at all the production for offensive running, rushing, and throwing, but if you're making big mistakes, it's like taking 300 yards off your total offense.
Saw the measurement. It was good enough for a Steeler first down by half the length of the football. So from their own 18, the Steelers have a first down, leading 7-0, just under 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Ernest Jackson already closing in on 100 yards rushing. Play action pass. Wide open. Stallworth. Steps out of bounds. Looked like he was going to put a move on. Stepped out of bounds, but it's good enough for another Steeler first down. Terry Wright stopped him, but a 17-yard gain. Bono to Stallworth.
Look at the trap action again. There goes Long pulling on a trap. Now, look what you don't see in this picture. No linebackers. Nobody gets back to help. By giving them that trap action in the offensive line, you suck half of the defensive pass coverage right up in there, and there's a wide open field to throw to Stallworth.
So the Steelers, beginning this drive on their own 8, have advanced it to the 34, where they have a first down. Stone somehow ducked under a couple of tackles and took it to the 40-yard line, where the flags go. Jeff Lighting made the stop for Indianapolis. Penalty markers. Looks like it'll be against Pittsburgh.
Taking a little bit of unfair advantage. Those linemen just want their fair advantage with Bono.
Denzel Lee, the tight end, guilty of a hold. Tight ends don't hold, do they?
Well, you can't hold with your outside hand. You have to hold with your inside one, because the outside hand is seen by 3 or 4 or 5 officials, but your inside one's never seen.
You telling me that you used to practice that little trick? Did you see the hold?
I think what I think Denzel Lee was called for is he straightened his arms out and he was pushing him in the back more than anything else.
1st and 20, Pittsburgh. Bono lays it up top. Complete. Lee taken down at about the 35-yard line. There's a penalty marker down. Denzel Lee streaking downfield, made the reception. Bono laid it right out there. But it'll be interference against the Steelers, and that'll nullify the long game.
It was a good pass. Bono throwing the good ball down the field. He's making good plays as a quarterback, and he's also making a few mistakes. These little mistakes are killing him. Heck, a play like that should count, should stand.
Pass interference. 84 offense. First down.
So 2 penalties in a row, one a hold, that one an offensive pass interference against Danzel Lee. You really couldn't see it on the replay. He must have pushed off, though, before we had him in camera range.
Well, if somebody saw it, that's what counts.
They did indeed. Penalties starting to even up a little bit. It's 1st and 35 now for the Steelers. They're back at their own 14. Going in reverse on this drive. 1st and 35. Stone. He gets outside. Down the sideline. Blockers in front. Finally collared at the 35-yard line of the Colts.
John Stallworth knocked 2 people down on that play. Unbelievable. All of your great running plays get great blocking by your wide receivers.
On 1st and 35, the Steelers get 49 yards out of Dwight Stone.
Watch this. Boom. Have a seat, fella. And now watch John Stallworth. He's not done yet. He's going to get another one. And this man, what, 14-year veteran? He's as old as I am.
And that's old. He's 35 years old, I think, isn't he?
He looks like he's about 21, doesn't he?
Got 2 blocks on the play. He's already caught 3 balls on the afternoon, 1 for a touchdown. John Stallworth has his heart in this game, even though many of his teammates are still sitting it out and not to return until next week. The replay officials were reviewing. What were they reviewing?
They probably get paid per review, you see.
Well, 1st and 35, you figure that the Steelers would go to the air. Instead, they go to Stone, who gets 49 yards. 1st down, Pittsburgh at the 35, Indianapolis. Ernest Jackson cut down in the backfield for a loss on the play. Evidently, I didn't see it. The ball was popped loose at Dwight Stone. And the question was it a fumble or was he down? And the replay official said he was down. The play stood. But on the first carry after the long run by Stone, the Steelers lose 4, and it's 2nd and 14. Here it is. Ball just popping out, but the ground causing the fumble.
It wasn't even close. Tell those reviewers to sit back and relax.
Bono's pass complete. John Stallworth again on the receiving end. I believe he'll be short of the 1st down. We'll see where they give us forward progress. Terry Wright collared him and then pushed him back. And a flag down. And another penalty against the Steelers.
A good route, good catch. Now, is Terry Wright getting even with him here? Does he say you knocked me down, buddy?
Illegal use of hands.
I remember that.
74 offense. 2nd down.
There's Terry Long. Illegal use of the hands. Another Pittsburgh penalty. This first half has not been a thing of beauty by either team. Penalties and turnovers. Pretty good on between Terry Long and Don Thorpe of the Colts, and Long guilty of the hold. 2nd and 24. Bono pumps once, dumps it off to Jackson. Gets away from one man and comes to the other side. He's got some blockers. Out of bounds at the 40. Terry Wright forced him out of bounds. Jackson reversing his field and gaining about 10 yards on the play.
I wonder what they call this play.
I don't think they call it anything.
Jackson must have actually been talking to Bono and said, here, and throw it over here, because Bono just looked and threw him the ball. Now they've got a pretty good wall set up, kind of like a punt return.
String it. And as they string it out, they get Jackson out of bounds, setting up a 3rd and 14. Steelers have converted 2 of 4 third downs in this first half. 3:16 remaining, 7-0 Steelers. Bono, incomplete. Charles Lockett took a pretty good hit and couldn't hold on to the football. Grimsley and Curry popped him pretty good.
Now, when you run a route and the ball's coming after you, if you can catch the ball before it gets to your eyes, you're going to have an advantage. Watch him let the ball get past him. Therefore, the man hits the ball and knocks it free. If he would have put his hands out and caught the ball in front of him, he would have protected that ball from the defender, and he wouldn't have had the pass turned into an incompletion. Don't ever let that ball get by your body.
On 4th down, Bruno is on to punt for the Steelers. Nobody back deep for the Colts as Bruno tries to hit the coffin corner, but he can't do it. Into the end zone for the touchback, and the Colts will have it 1st down at their own 20-yard line. 3 minutes left in the second quarter, 7-0 Pittsburgh.
I'm 80 years old, and I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Brave adults are coming forward to challenge the notion that Frosted Flakes is just a kid's cereal.
I eat them, I love them, and I don't care who knows.
With that extra crunch and milk, that frosting just right, they have a taste adults can love every bit as much as kids.
Go ahead, Shirley. You can do it.
I love them, thank you.
Oh, what more can you say? Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
The fundamentals. The harder you work on them, the better you get. That's why at Raytheon Company, we admire people like Wade Boggs. People who are dedicated to perfecting the fundamentals, practicing them over and over and over until they're flawless. At Raytheon, we do the same thing. Because in electronics, aviation, appliances, and energy, we believe quality starts with fundamentals.
Well, you know the bad news.
Charlie Carlson is in the meeting of his life, and his shirt is perfectly dry. But that doesn't mean he smells good. Because Under-Armour odor is invisible, he needs total protection. Sure Solid.
If everyone would take a
Sure not only helps protect against wetness, it actually kills bacteria that cause odor. So, Charlie, why go to work with a dry shirt and a false sense of security? Use Sure Solid and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness.
It strikes without warning, with only a mother's love to fight back.
I wish the voices would go away.
Nancy McKeon, Valerie Harper, Strange Voices, Monday.
Signs around the stadium sometimes give you a pretty good idea of what the fans are thinking. Mark Malone, of course, the beleaguered regular quarterback of the Steelers. Some of the people would like to see Steve Bono stay on in place of Mark Malone, who will be returning to the fold next week with the other Steeler players.
Now, Mark Malone's giving them a lot of fun. After all, you love to yell and hate people. You know, he's the type of guy you love to hate, I guess. I hope they don't really hate him.
5th possession for the Colts, who've had poor field position this entire first half. They start here at their own 20. Pitch it to Banks. Breaks a couple of tackles, finally taken out of bounds after a 4-yard gain. Craig Bingham knocked him out. There's a flag down. Here's what the Colts have done today on their possessions. And you see on their 10, their 16, twice on the 20, and nothing in the point department. Start this drive at their own 20, and there's a penalty flag down.
Now, Gary Dunn acted a little bit like a rookie there. He was following the play. A man tackled him from behind.
Personal foul, 67 defense.
And then he got mad, and he shoved him. I mean, hey, some guy's going to cheat out there. You can't let that bother you. If you're a professional and you're a veteran, you just pass it off, because if somebody can get to you by doing something like a cheap shot, then they can disrupt your game. As long as you're winning the game on the field between the whistles, don't let anything bother you.
And Dunn, number 67, is a veteran. 49 tackles a year ago, second among the defensive linemen. One of 8 remaining Steelers who played in at least one Super Bowl with Pittsburgh. First down for the Colts at the 38 after the penalty. Kiel. Intended for Murray. Did he have his feet in bounds? Yes. For a Colt first down, just shy of midfield. Larry Griffin was covering on the play, and Murray made a good catch.
Well, let's watch it. Let's see. First of all, it's a great catch. Unbelievable. Now let's look. 1 foot. I don't know. Did he ever get that right foot back down?
I think he dragged them both. I think there was a good catch. They'll look at it, sure.
I think they should give it to him anyway. Anybody makes a catch like that, they should just say good enough.
Murray laid his body out, kept the 2 feet in, and it's good for a Colt first down. They're reviewing it, so they'll hold play up as we look at the ticker.
The Jets came back and scored, I think, some of the first points they've scored in a while.
Shut out by the Colts last week, 6-0. Next week, Indianapolis hosts New England, while the Steelers will play Cincinnati.
The thing to watch in Murray, his left foot is going to be on the ground, but watch his right leg.
Official, the play will stand.
Right there, his right leg's on the ground. It was good enough for me, I'll tell you that.
And the replay official agrees. Both feet in bounds. It's a first down for Indianapolis at the 49-yard line of the Colts. 7-0 Pittsburgh, 2:48 remaining in the first half. Colts started at their own 20, trying to get something on the board before intermission. Fleeficker. Kiel goes deep. Bellini is back there. Shell can't handle it. Edwards was covering Bellini. Shell was just playing center field. And for the second time today, he had one in his hands and couldn't hold it for career interception number 51.
Okay, you're going to watch the basic flea flicker. You hand the ball off, give it back to Kiel. And now he's just going to hope. Here comes the prayer, as you see. And rock hands Donnie Shell misses the ball.
He's only intercepted 50
out of 250. I tell you, he's a heck of a good man on the run, and he's a good pass defender. But hey, if they were great receivers, they'd be, great people who could catch the ball, they'd be receivers.
Well, he's been to the Pro Bowl 6 times and has 50 career interceptions, the only strong safety in NFL history with that many. 2nd and 10, Indianapolis. Clock shows 2:39. Kiel in trouble. Cuts it upfield, a nice run. Ducks out of bounds at the 35-yard line of the Steelers. There we saw the speed of Blair Kiel. Jerome Stowe finally knocked him out of bounds, but Kiel got the running game going. The Columbus, Indiana native picks up a Colt first down.
Just gets flushed right out there. Bingham gets a good rush, but obviously Kiel's got some speed because Bingham is not slow. Kiel lifts a lot of weight. See, I think he helped. He blocks on punt protection. Now he's the punter, of course. He's one of those guys that can do many different things. Backup quarterback, help on special teams, and allows a team who only has 45 roster spots to be able to fill 2 or 3 spots with one ball player. It really helps the coach.
Kiel ran for a first down from punt formation against Cincinnati. First game of the season for the Colts. First down at the 35 of the Steelers. 2:33 first half. Steelers leading 7-0. Kiel's pass complete. It's complete to Kelly Johnson. Takes it down for another Colt first down. Larry Griffin covering on the play, but it's a 14-yard gain. And the Colts moving the ball on what will probably be their final possession of the half.
And they're throwing it. I think they have to throw it. Kelly Johnson's a kid that's being helped out a lot by this strike because he's something nobody knows anything about him. As far as I know, he hasn't even been around a football field for a few years, and they know he can run fast. They say he's a 4.2 40 if people believe that kind of stuff. But if he can catch the ball and he run good routes, he could stay in the NFL.
And the clock ticks down to the 2-minute warning. So we'll take a timeout for the 2-minute warning with the Steelers leading the Colts 7-0, but Indianapolis knocking on the door.
Your face takes enough abuse, so you need the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. Its Lubra-Smooth strip is designed to reduce irritation, so shaving feels so good. Good News Plus.
Nationwide, people are rushing to Yugo's spectacular 100,000 countdown celebration.
I can't believe the deal I got. Now I got a great new car that's reliable for college.
We knew this was our last chance to buy a Yugo at $39.90.
And with this great deal,
we saved even more.
Yugo wants 100,000 satisfied owners, so right now they're dealing to make America's lowest price car even more affordable. Get to your local dealer now. Call 1-800-USA-YUGO. Hurry, it's for a limited time only. These prices and deals won't last.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly.
He's the kid.
And it shows.
With the design and sound of the Delco Electronics music system, now the best seat in the house is in your GM car. Delco Electronics. It's who we are.
Stay with us at halftime. NFL Live brings you up to date on all the scores and highlights from around this final week of replacement football in the NFL. That's coming up at halftime. Right now we have 2 minutes left in the first half here. Pittsburgh 7, Indianapolis nothing, but the Colts with a first down at the Steeler 20. Blair Kiel has moved them downfield from their own 20-yard line. He's now hit on 8 of 13 through the air for 82 yards and has them in business 1st and 10. Long count by Blair Kiel. For the end zone, he's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Murray.
Good drive, good drive.
Donnie Shell and Larry Griffin beaten on the play. Murray was wide open. Kiel got the ball to him for the 20-yard score. An impressive drive by the Colts, who finally get the offense untracked.
Steelers have 4 linemen in the game. Watch the protection. They're holding him out. He takes a little punch afterwards, a little bit of a shot, but he stood in there tough and threw the ball. Watch the catch here. He's wide open. Gets the ball in his hands. You wonder how he got so open.
You know, he made a great catch to keep the drive going and makes the touchdown grab as well, does Walter Murray out of Hawaii. Point after is good. And with 1:54 left in the first half, the Colts have tied the score. There is a flag down, however. Flag on the play on the extra point. Steve Jordan kicked it through.
It looks to me as if they showed the hook.
Holding, 78 offense, tie the point.
Somebody on the offense stuck his hand out and tried to hook somebody. Mr. Thorpe, Don Thorpe, number 78. Yeah, that's one thing that they look for. They don't mind if you grab little jerseys in there, but if you stick your arm out to the side and hook a man, they're going to call you.
There's Walter Murray, who made the touchdown catch, his second touchdown. And Steve Jordan again will try the extra point. This time it'll be a 30-yard extra point. Makes no difference. He hits it anyway. So the Colts have indeed tied the score after a 6-play, 80-yard drive that consumed just a little over a minute. Murray made the catch for the touchdown to tie it 7-7. Blair Kiel engineering the drive. Kiel, normally the third-string quarterback for the Colts, getting his first start today. At Notre Dame, he had 297 completions, just 8 shy of Terry Hanratty's record. There he is with a headset on. He came in as a Notre Dame player into Pittsburgh to face the Pitt Panthers, then ranked #1 in the country. Marino at quarterback, and Blair Kiel and the Irish pulled the upset of Marino and Pitt when Blair was a junior at Notre Dame. There's a look at the scoring drive of the Indianapolis Colts. The 20-yard pass, Kiel to Murray, the clincher, to tie it up. Jordan tees the ball up for the Colts. And Dwight Stone is deep for Pittsburgh. Here's a look at Jordan in his first year out of Southern Cal. Short kick taken by Stone at the 10. Gets outside, tries to cut back and is stopped at the 34-yard line. Steelers will have it first down there with 1:48 showing on the clock. Jeff Atkins made the stop for Indianapolis. 7-7 game with 1:48 left in the first half. The Colts with an impressive drive covering 80 yards. As you see the press box here at Three River Stadium, Dan Rooney, the Steelers president, not liking what he can see. He's back there behind that television monitor. From the 34-yard line, Steve Bono, the quarterback. Setbacks are Jackson and Stone. Ernest Jackson. Flag down, whistles blowing to stop the play dead.
Flag on the play. False start, 68 offense. First down.
Jeff Lucas, the right tackle, guilty of the false start. It'll be 1st and 15 for Pittsburgh. There's your 10-minute ticker as we approach halftime in most of the games around the circuit. NFL Live brings you up to date on all the action at halftime. 1st and 15 Pittsburgh. Jackson picks his way forward above the 35 to the 36-yard line. Ed Grimsley, the rookie out of Akron, makes the stop for Indianapolis.
Ed Grimsley's the only linebacker in the game. You see 43 Perriman there, and you look at 40. Right, they're defensive backs. Who else is going to make the play but Grimsley, the linebacker?
2nd and 8 coming up for Pittsburgh. Clock on the move inside 1:20. Bono. Sacked. Second sack of the day for the Indianapolis defense. Ricky Chapman gets him for a loss on the play.
He's got to get that protection. He needs one more second. You watch him in the 52 Chapman in there to begin with. He comes around a few men, makes the play. Not enough time to get the pass off.
Ricky Chapman, 6'2", 230 pounds in his first year out of LSU. We asked him what he was doing before he got the call to join the Indianapolis Colts replacement team.
I just finished my master's degree in correctional social work. Right now, presently, I was employed with the Louisiana Department of Correction, in which I do various jobs. I was living in Alexandria, Louisiana, working at a correctional institution, whereas I conduct survey for different inmates.
So a correctional officer in Louisiana. And he put the pinch on Steve Bono that time for a sack and a loss in the play, setting up a 3rd and 15. Only in America. You love this country. What was your line?
Oh, all the things that have gone on the last 3 weeks, it only could have happened in America.
A minute 10 left in the first half. 3rd and 15. Steelers score tied at 7. Bono down the sideline, incomplete, intended for Charles Lockett. Brian Jones defending on the play, but Lockett had room had the ball been on target. It'll be 4th down, and Bruno is on to punt for Pittsburgh.
Now let's watch Lockett when he comes out of his route. Is he running fast, or does he just turn his head and start to jog? The ball was still a little bit overthrown, but Bono might have expected him to come out of there a little bit quicker and faster on the out route. That's a lack of communication between people who haven't been playing together for a while. He could have caught the ball.
Bruno out of Penn State is on to punt, and Johnson is deep for Indianapolis. He retreats and drops the ball. Picks it up on the first bounce and tries to come back upfield. Gets out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Chasing him on the play, Avon Riley of the Steelers. As we finish up our 10-minute ticker, getting ready with a final check of the scores just before halftime. Bob Costas and company will bring you up to date on NFL Live. 46-yard punt by Bruno. Johnson really muffed the return. And back at the 16-yard line now, and 52 seconds left. 7-7 game. I imagine the Colts will just run it out. Had they gotten good field position, they might have tried for a score.
Well, the Colts had the momentum. They were moving the ball well. I think you're right. Had they gotten position, but I think right now they'd be happy just to go in with the tie.
Steelers dominating the statistics in the first half, but the score tied at 7. Draw play. Banks gets a couple of yards. Gerald Williams falls on him to stop him after a short gain. And we're down to 40 seconds.
We have timeout, Indianapolis. The first charge team timeout.
Well, Indianapolis takes its first timeout, and we have a player injured on the field. It's Chuck Banks, who is the mainstay in the ground game for the Colts. That would be an important loss. They're looking at his left leg. Be a shame to get him hurt in that situation where they were just trying to really run out the clock, although they've called a timeout here. It was a little draw play to Banks. He took a pretty sharp hit, and he is the man that's carried the bulk of the rushing offense for the Colts.
On an AstroTurf surface, many times your leg gets trapped and you just can't get it out, and you're trying to pull it out from a pile, and because of the friction on the surface, it's just caught. Unfortunately, it's like you're seeing it coming. You're watching yourself get injured in slow motion, and the AstroTurf will do that.
Banks will be replaced by Gordon Brown, 5'11", 220 pounds, first year out of Tulsa. A young man that lives in the city of Pittsburgh.
Looks like he's in a lot of pain. Okay, Chuck Banks has the ball.
It looks like he did get his leg trapped and sort of twisted.
Yeah, it looks kind of like his left ankle. Watch his left ankle. See if he gets, oh, right there. Yeah, he gets caught right underneath him. Oh, that hurts. That could be a ligament or an ankle ligament sprain in the ankle. Watch the left leg get trapped right under Williams here. See the bend at the inside ligament of the knee. Looks like it might have popped.
And then gets a hit to finish it off while the leg was trapped as Klein came and hit him while the leg was immobile, which added probably to the injury.
Well, that looks good there, because if he had torn that thing, I don't think he'd be able to move his leg in that manner.
Now, the referee said it was a charged timeout to Indianapolis, but in the final 2 minutes, if there is an injury, it doesn't count as a charged timeout.
I think that's an old thing that happened back in the Notre Dame game when about 50 years ago, they used to fake injuries. Didn't it happen?
Not in Notre Dame, surely.
Scott stops the clock for Notre Dame.
Chuck Banks heading to the locker room. Ron Meyer will have to find another man now if Banks can't go to bolster the running game. Right now, Gordon Brown is in the game and gets the call. Brown for Williams again makes the stop as Gordon Brown gets a couple of yards. Gary Dunn also an assist on the tackle.
That could be the last play. I don't think they have to run another one. Just kind of watch the clock. It's interesting. It's 18 now, 17, 16.
Thank you. Did you learn that at Notre Dame?
We learned how to watch clocks, yes. I learned how to do that in Houston, where we're behind every game by 25 points one year. The clock was the most interesting thing you watched.
Well, the clock ticking down toward halftime and toward NFL Live, which will bring you up to date on the final week of replacement football. Ron Meyer saw his team mount an 80-yard drive in the final couple of minutes in order to tie the team, as Chuck Noll has had most of the stats go his way in the first half, but mistakes by both teams have been costly, and we're 7-7 here in the first half of play. Indianapolis fumbling, Pittsburgh getting a touchdown after that, and then on their final next to last possession of the half, Indianapolis driving 80 yards, Murray catching a touchdown pass. It's 7-7. So that's the halftime score, and now let's check in with Bob Costas at NFL Live for all our halftime activities.
Hi again, everybody. Bob Costas with Ahmad Rashad and Paul McGuire. Welcome back to our NFL Live studios in New York. And here's the scoreboard. The Jets trailed 10-0 early against Miami, with Pat Ryan, the veteran, throwing 2 touchdown passes in the second quarter. The Jets have the 17-10 lead at the half. Elsewhere, New England is playing at Houston, and they have a 21-7 lead at halftime in the Astrodome. This game marks Doug Flutie's debut as a member of the Patriots, and he immediately makes his presence felt. He'll throw a first-quarter touchdown pass of 27 yards to the former Texas El Paso star Larry Linney. This guy was a quarterback for a while in college, does the job here with a great catch from the wide receiver spot, and it gives them a 7-0 lead. After the Oilers had come back to tie it, Linney hooks up with Flutie once again. This play will cover 30 yards, sets up a goal-to-go situation, and Michael LeBlanc scored a few plays later from 3 yards out, and they led 14-7. Interesting perspective here by one of the Houston fans. Thinks fake football is better than the real thing. Not this variety for Houston. Their field goal attempt is blocked. Andre Tippett blocked it. Raymond Claiborne picks it up. A couple of veterans there. Better than 70 yards later, Claiborne is in the end zone, and the Patriots take a 21-7 lead to the locker room. The Bears are 2-0 with their strike team, 4-0 overall, and at Soldier Field at the half, they lead the Saints today 17-10. Cleveland and Cincinnati, a 24-0 lead for the Browns. Gary Danielson has crossed the line. He has thrown for 3 touchdowns, one of them caught by Brian Brennan, who had 8 pass receptions in the first half for Cleveland. Indianapolis is at Pittsburgh. The game is tied at 7 at halftime, and a milestone in this game, actually a couple of them. First of all, the Three Rivers sellout streak is stopped at 119. Now in the first quarter, Steve Bono throws 4 yards to John Stallworth, who crossed the line
And that's, you know, he makes it all look so easy. He's caught 12 balls already, and I really think, I said this last week, that the records in these replacement games should not count because this is too easy. This is just like playing catch with two guys out on the field.
One other thought. I would guess that a guy like Doug Flutie might excel in these games because his mobility is accentuated. The regular players not only are big, but they're somewhat faster than the replacements, and that cuts down the Flutie mobility factor. But this might be a little bit more like the college competition, and he can excel.
And the other thing is you don't have time enough to put the line blocking in, so you need a quarterback that can move around, and Flutie should really excel at this kind of football.
Well, you were telling me a couple of minutes ago that in a way the level of play has come up over the last week.
Well, you know, we talked about it last week. They fumbled a lot. They're still fumbling today, but the guys are learning. They practiced a lot on how to fall on the fumble. They're recovering fumbles today, which they couldn't do last week. The other thing, the interceptions are down because the defensive backs aren't able to catch the ball. It's going through their hands. They practice too much and too long, and they soak their hands too long and lie. And now, in the quarterback situation, one thing they've found out about quarterbacks, and this is very important in the National Football League, they've found out in this 6th week how great they can run, because they are running for their lives.
And so much for the Paul McGuire segment. He'll be appearing soon at a comedy club near you, and we'll be back following these messages from your local stations.
Tonight on Family Ties.
Mom's flipping out.
And will my two dads survive their daughter's first date?
Yeah. Nicole's dating a longshoreman.
Then, do you recognize these people? They're getting ready for
The invasion of the Bradfords.
Join Dick Van Patten and the whole gang for an 8 is Enough reunion tonight.
There's a new beer in town, and it's called American beer.
I love the fresh, natural taste that's pure American. When I think about how good we have it here, I say my thanks and toast the glory of America with the one they call American beer.
There's only one they call American beer. Taste the glory. Charlie just got the perfect business checking account.
How you doing, Charlie?
Better. Much better.
The Manions just worked out a terrific mortgage on a new home.
What's your new neighborhood like? Actually, a little better.
You'll do better, too, when you go to Landmark.
Ellen, will you marry me?
You'll have to better yourself.
I'll switch to Landmark.
I will marry you.
Landmark, even better than a bank.
Jeopardy, tomorrow night at 7, here on Channel 11.
Frank DeFord is in Israel this week, working on a piece in anticipation of our coverage of the Olympics next year, a piece about the Israeli athletes who were murdered at Munich in 1972. He paused to send us this essay.
It was Munich, the Olympics. 11 competitors murdered in what is surely the worst moment ever in sport. That was exactly 15 years ago, and this is a cemetery near Tel Aviv where 5 of the massacred Israelis still lie. And it is impossible not to think of it as a Flanders field of sport and to recall those lovely lines about other young men who took bullets and died early. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep. The flowers grow in Flanders field. The games, of course, went on at Munich. The games always go on, don't they? As they have in America this fall in football. Now, it would be obscene to force any comparisons between the unholy death of men in 72 and a mere union dispute in 87. Remember, too, that President Roosevelt was praised for keeping Major League Baseball going during World War II. And in 1961, when a plane load of American ice skaters crashed in Belgium, the championships went on as always. Play the games. Always play the games. We have a sense that if we can just keep the games going, we can keep out the ugliness of reality. So the memorial to the 11 Israelis who died at the Olympics 15 years ago is here, far away from any arena, far away from where they perished. And probably this is right. It is only incidental that the murdered men were athletes, wrestlers, and weightlifters. They were Israelis in life, and their spirits rest here for cause, not for any particular games that they might have been good at. And still, as always, the games go on. Everybody always wants the games to go on. Only sometimes the games get so mixed up with reality, with literally life and death, that we must put things back in proportion. Things like football and strikes and our own amusement. And so standing here at this other Flanders Field, a place so close to God, it's important just to pause and remember those 11 men of sport who once held a torch so very high 15 years ago. Berger, Friedman, Gottfried, Halfen, Romano, Shapira, Schur, Slavin, Spitzer, Springer, Weinberger.
Tuesday, a young cop puts his career on the line to save a woman from the streets.
Did you blow the stake out because of some hooker?
Tough man, wanna play?
You can't handle a woman like that. I need your help.
She's in so deep, only a cop can save her.
Where is she? Acting like a fool. No badges, no guns, just us.
Never knew an attraction so fatal. Crime Story, Tuesday.
The tomatoes look like they just got picked off the vine.
In McDonald's, we're tossing salads fresh all day, every day.
I don't have time to chop, chop, chop.
Every day I go pick up 4 or 5 salads and 4 or 5 Diet Cokes, and that's our lunch.
Delicious. I really like it.
Toss fresh all day. McDonald's salads.
And don't forget those money-saving coupons. You get great deals on everything from salads to sandwiches. And they're good right now. So bring them into McDonald's today.
Player interviews on the 5th quarter, right after the game.
Halftime at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh Steelers and Indianapolis Colts tied 7-7. We'll be back in a moment to give you the halftime stats and a preview of the second half, right after these messages.
I present the Golden Boy, Paul Hornung.
It's been a long journey for me from the frozen gridiron in Green Bay to here in Canton, Ohio, professional football's Hall of Fame. I'm very proud to be a part of the 1986 class of enshrinees: Ken Houston, Willie Lanier, Fran Tarkenton, and Doak Walker. You know, it was a dream come true for me to play in the National Football League. I played quarterback, fullback, halfback. I ran out of every position they gave me. And here at Pro Football's Hall of Fame, I'll be running alongside some of the great runners of all time, players like Gale Sayers and Frank Gifford. And you can be a part of that great history, too. It's all here, the teams, the stars, the records, so you can see the men and the great plays that have been a part of the game we call pro football. This is a great adventure for the whole family, taking photos, seeing the films, sharing the excitement, being part of the great history. The Pro Football Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio. Don't miss it.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, it's halftime with the Colts and the Steelers tied 7-7. And, of course, mistakes have played a big part in that first half. The Steelers score coming after a Colt fumble. And then the Colts, having seen the Steelers waste some scoring opportunities, got a chance in the closing stages of the half, marched 80 yards for a touchdown. That was actually the most impressive drive of the game.
It was very impressive because the Steelers, to me, looked like they were killing them. And the Colts hung together, and they put together a lot of, about 5 or 6 good passes in a row, good plays. And the score is 7-7, and it's going to be a tough second half for both teams.
The story of the first half really has been what the teams have done to themselves in terms of penalties and turnovers. It really has hurt momentum for both teams at certain stages of the half.
Oh, yes, it has. Fumbled snaps, penalties, drop passes, interceptions. A lot of different mistakes have happened to both teams. So really, the statistics don't show up what's happened in the game.
The Steelers had a big edge in the stats early, but then that 80-yard drive, mostly through the air by Blair, Kiel, and the Colts, got the stats a little closer to parity at halftime. As you see, 9 of 14 passing for the Colts, and Bono has hit 7 of 14 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Turnovers, 2 for Indianapolis and 1 for the Steelers. At one time, Pittsburgh had a big edge in time of possession, but that has evened up again somewhat. And, of course, the Colts with their stat of 16 takeaways now, which leads the NFL. What about the second half? If Banks can't return for Indianapolis, that is going to change their whole philosophy. He was their whole ground game.
I think the Colts shouldn't win this game. I think the Steelers are the better team physically. I think they can still run their traps to death, beat the Colts that way. But the Steelers have been making mistakes. If they continue look for the Colts to squeak one out.
As we said, the Steelers had a lot of players come back Wednesday just before the deadline. Has that been partly to blame, perhaps, for the mistakes here? Players not used to playing with the other guys, a funny mix, and the timing just not right?
I think the first game of the season, the players said, I'm not going to make a mistake. Now all of a sudden they've got the emotion in them. They say, now I'm going to make a big play, and they forget not to make mistakes. So they forgot the fundamentals.
One of the big highlights, of course, of the first half was the fact that John Stallworth entered the record books with his 500 career reception, and number 500 was his 62nd touchdown grab.
It was just great to watch John Stallworth do it. We saw him block, we saw him catch, and we've been watching this for 14 years.
Stallworth getting the touchdown, number 62 in the books. He was also number 500 in terms of receptions. He got a couple of more before the half was over. And as you said earlier, on a big run by Stone that covered 49 yards, he had 2 blocks on the play. It's obvious that John Stallworth, one of the veteran Steelers, is really into the game, even though it is a replacement game.
Yes, you know, Chuck Noll loves a man like Stallworth, like Mike Webster. All these type of ball players are his. I talked to him before the game, and he had that cold smile, and I didn't know whether he was laughing at me. I didn't know whether he was happy talking to me, because Chuck Noll is just one tough guy. He's an impressive coach, and he's made the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This kickoff sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. This kickoff sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Steelers with a kickoff, a short kick taken by Kelly Johnson. And he's spun down back behind the 20-yard line. So the Steelers with good kick coverage. Well, we apologize for some audio difficulties we're having. As you saw, the Colts with the ball first down at their own 19 try to go long with it for Mark Bellini, and Blair Kiel's pass not there. So it'll be 2nd and 10 coming up for the Colts. The ball still at the Indianapolis 19-yard line. Larry Griffin was defending Bellini on the play, and the ball just over his hands and incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up. 7-7 game. We start the second half here at Three Rivers. Gordon Brown is in at running back as Chuck Banks was shaken up in the latter stages of the first half. He's the lone setback. Blair Kiel again to the air. And a man wide open, and the pass, Bellini makes the reception for a Colt first down. Dave Edwards knocks him to the turf, but Bellini holds on, and the Colt air game really starting to click here.
I think it's something you're going to see the rest of the game. Now watch Kiel, how he sets up and throws, but when the ball gets to Bellini, notice how he's coming back after the ball. So the pick, he doesn't get the big hit. He's coming into the ball back toward us on the screen, so he doesn't take that big hit from Edwards. And you've got to do that. When the ball's near, work toward the ball, away from the man that's trying to take your head off.
19-yard gain for the rookie. It's first down for the Colts at their own 38-yard line. Kiel gives the ball to Brown. Brown's got some good running room, gets 8 yards up to the 47-yard line of Indianapolis. Chuck Banks suffering an ankle sprain just before halftime, and his status is uncertain for the remainder of the game. Dave Edwards stopped his replacement, Gordon Brown, after a good gain of 8 yards at 2nd and 2 for Indianapolis.
That was the way the Colts want to do it, too, where the left side moves the right side. The left side, as you see it on your screen, just knocking the people on the right side down.
Gordon Brown, again, the only setback behind Blair Kiel. And he gives it to Brown. Hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped in his tracks. That was Gary Dunn, the nose tackle. It overpowered the center and hit Brown just as he got the handoff. There's Gary Dunn, 11 years out of Miami, 6'3", 275 pounds. His father and his brother both played at the University of Miami. In fact, his father was the coach there back in the mid-40s. 43 and 44, a tradition of the University of Miami for the Dunn family. 3rd and 3, Indianapolis. Another long count by Blair Kiel. Pass is tipped and incomplete. Supposed to be just a little look into Murray, but the ball deflected at the line of scrimmage by Michael Minter. Minter stands 6'3", 275 pounds. Got a paw on that one.
This is what you call side adjust. Nobody's there to block Williams. He's what you call hot. Nobody can block him. So get the ball off fast. Williams knocks the ball down. On the other side, there was a man that might have possibly made an interception had the ball got out there. It wasn't a very good play against that particular blitz.
Lock it deep for Pittsburgh as Kiel ready to punt. End over end punt. Lockett lets it bounce. It takes a good Pittsburgh bounce, and the Colts will down it at about the 25-yard line. There's a flag on the play. 39-yard punt by Kiel. And you see the penalty going against the Colts. See if Pittsburgh will decline the penalty.
Illegal man downfield on the kick. Number 26 on the kicking team. The penalty is declined. First down, TV time.
So Pat Ballage was down illegally for the Colts, but the Steelers declined the penalty, and they'll have their first possession of the second half coming up.
Come from work, you know I'm tired on beach. Try to make some supper, but I can't even eat. Jump in the shower, watch the world from my back. Gotta get you, baby, that's a natural fact. It's the night time. That's the right time. I wanna be with you in the night time.
The night belongs to Michelob.
I'd no sooner settle for a flake in my hair than a spot on my uniform.
You passed the test, you're good grooming. Has the look of success. Your head and shoulders above the rest.
Regular shampoos just rinse flakes. Head and Shoulders goes to the source to help stop flakes.
And that's doing it right.
Your head and shoulders above the rest.
There are those who fervently believe that true perfection is found in the details. At the Bavarian Motor Works, we gave that belief a name. We call it the BMW 735i. Beautiful, to be sure. Yet perhaps the most beautiful thing about it is its spirit.
7-7 game with 12:23 to play in the third quarter. Tom Hammond and Dave Casper at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Sunny afternoon, a pleasant day for football. And the Steelers and the Colts tied up. Steve Bono, the quarterback, has hit on half of his passes. 74 yards, 1 touchdown to Stallworth, 1 picked off. And the Steelers have the ball at their own 26, their first possession of the second half. Ernest Jackson has carried for over 70 yards in the first half, gets the first call of the second half and loses yardage. Loss of 6 back to the 20-yard line as Ricky Chapman, who's had a good game, smelled that one out from the outset. Today's game is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, phone your nearest BMW dealer. By the Stanley Works. Stanley helps you do things right. And by Castrol, the motor oil engineered for today's smaller cars. 7-7 game, 11:45 third quarter. Bono up top and complete to Lee for a first down. Lee in traffic makes the grab. Jim Perryman all over him. But Lee has it for 18 yards and a Steeler first down.
There's a seam in any defense where it's vertically down the field in between the defender on the right and who happens to be Perryman and the free safety. If you can hit that seam with a low pass, get it in there on time, it also takes a good catch, and Lee made a good catch.
Bono showed us a good arm today. First down at the 42-yard line. Bono lost this one up for grabs and throws it out of bounds. Calvin Sweeney was the intended receiver, but Bono just threw it away.
There was a mistiming on that play. Bono, I think, was looking for a 4-yard hitch route where he runs down 4 yards and stops, and he ran about 6 yards, and Bono was ready to throw the ball, but Sweeney wasn't there, wasn't turned around.
Lionel Alston brings the play in from the sideline, joining Stallworth as a wide receiver, and Bono faces a 2nd and 10. Makes the run. Trying to set up a screen. Intercepted. Or did he drop it? In there to break it up was Bob Ontko. Did he hold on to it? Ernest Jackson was the intended receiver on the screen, and Ontko got right in the middle of it to break it up.
It happened reverse before. He's got a man-to-man. There's Don Thorpe on the rush, number 78. He gets back there, but they want him back there. They want the defensive line to come back so they're no longer in the play. Now the screen pass goes up, and hopefully nobody's there, but there's Ontko. And he couldn't catch the ball. He couldn't hold on to it.
I thought he had intercepted it, but he couldn't hold on, and it's 3rd and 10. The Steelers have converted 2 of 5 third downs in this game. There's Ontko, who broke the last play up. Bono in trouble. Lets it go. Incomplete. He trapped it. And the ball comes loose anyway. Calvin Sweeney, the intended receiver, as Bono went down under the rush, led by Frank Mattias.
There's 78 Thorpe. He's working. Look at him go over. He was actually cut on the ground and reaches over and grabs those feet. Now that caused the incompletion because as soon as you take a quarterback's feet away, he's falling forward and the ball goes into the ground.
Bruno on to kick on 4th down. Kelly Johnson is deep for Indianapolis. Bruno's kick is a good one. Johnson at the 15 reverses his field, tries to get a block. Nothing but black shirts there, and he goes down. Good kick coverage after a 43-yard punt by John Bruno. Indianapolis will have the ball. No score in the second half. Still 7-7.
No one would deny that the Japanese are aficionados of fine machinery. So when they reach that station in life when they can afford really fine machinery, guess what they buy? A car from Germany called the BMW 325i, making BMW last year's #1 selling import in Japan. If you ever thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, think again. Norelco puts close and comfortable right in the palm of your hand with a revolutionary system that shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. With a patented lift and cut system that lifts each hair so it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. A shaver that defies logic gives you a shave that defies belief. Norelco Rotatract, where close and comfortable come face to face.
Did you know the last time you starved yourself to lose fat, you might have lost muscle? Why? You didn't eat enough protein. Protein helps you keep the muscle while you lose fat. And that's what's special about Kellogg's Special K. It has the highest level of dietary protein of any cereal. So the under 200-calorie Special K breakfast may help you get the fat off and keep the muscle on. Special K. Keep the muscle, lose the fat.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Jets battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL Live.
Pittsburgh loves NBC, and the Steelers, they must not know you're up here in the booth. You're one of those guys that they love to hate, one of those Raiders. Huh?
There were some tough games here. There's all this innuendo. They iced the fields down. They used to blame us and open for water in our field down. Isn't that great stuff that football traditions are made of?
Colts start at their 13. They haven't started beyond the 20 on a drive in this game. 1st and 10 at their own 13. Brown. Tough running for Brown, who gets 3 or 4 yards. Let's pause briefly now for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching Channel 11, WPXI TV, Pittsburgh.
Hammond and Dave Casper at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, where the Steelers and the Colts are tied 7-7. 10 minutes, 10 seconds left in the third quarter of play. A game in which mistakes have cost the Steelers points in a game in which the Colts have had poor field position throughout. Right now, 2nd and 6 at their own 17. Kiel in traffic. Reception made. Great catch that time by Greg Hawthorne, the H-back, as Kiel put it between Pittsburgh defenders for the completion and another Colt first down.
First of all you have to watch in this play is to see how many Pittsburgh people are in the area. Look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 people surrounding him. He gets the ball in there, and excellent concentration for the catch.
Hawthorne out of Baylor made the catch, and a 20-yard gain, a Colt first down. Blair Kiel has done a good job. There's Hawthorne, a former first-round draft choice of the Steelers way back in '79. From the 38, first down Indianapolis. Hawthorne in motion. Pitch it to Brown. Brown gets a yard or two before Gary Dunn, the nose tackle, quickly to the outside to make the tackle.
One thing a defensive man has to do is get his hands on his blocker. Watch Dunn's arms. Boom, right through with the left shoulder, and he's running. It's almost like he's on a stunt, and he is. He's cocked. He's running that play. Plants has to take and get position and somehow drive him off the line. If the defensive man stunts and goes sideways, you many times can't stop him from getting to the play, but if you can push him back into another defender, you can at least cause trouble for the rest of the defense.
Indianapolis playing without its leading ground gainer, Chuck Banks, who sprained an ankle toward the end of the first half. Kiel throws it behind the intended receiver, but Bellini makes a good catch. Bellini started to come on a little bit. He made a couple of crucial drops early in the season, but today has had his first few career receptions. Dave Edwards covered him on the play. There the way the stats looked at the end of the first quarter. And the second quarter, see the Colts.
The big difference is the 88 yards passing in the second quarter on the right. The Colts, the 2 periods, the second and third quarters, they've outscored their opponent like 64-14 in the second and third quarters.
3rd and 4 right here for Indianapolis, and Pittsburgh calls a timeout. Pittsburgh saw something he didn't like, or perhaps a mix-up in the defense. That's the first timeout by Pittsburgh in the second half. That was a strange sequence because one of the Steeler defensive backs came up and repositioned one of the officials because he couldn't see, and then they all stood up and called a timeout. It comes with 7:45 left in the third quarter, and the score tied 7-7.
Why is this man breathing like he left his cold at someone else's house? Taking the time to read a book instead of reaching for a tissue. Relaxing in his favorite chair with muscles that no longer ache. Laughing instead of coughing. Resting instead of suffering. Why? Because instead of taking a cold tablet, he took NyQuil. A nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine. Now a new cherry flavor, too.
Now there's something that gives a higher return on your investment than stocks, or bonds, or CDs, or treasury bills. The Sylvania Super Saver Fluorescent. When you figure what this premium light saves your company in energy over an ordinary fluorescent, you're getting a return on your additional investment of 173% a year. G. No. GTE.
When the sun goes down, it's gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night.
October 31st, NBC shines with an encore presentation of the Superstars Finals. The Cardinals' Vince Coleman, Heisman Trophy winner Vinny Testaverde, and football speedsters Willie Gault and Herschel Walker. Who will outshine them all? The answer lies in the stars, the Superstars on NBC Sports World.
Back at Three Rivers Stadium on a beautiful afternoon in Pittsburgh. Pretty good crowd on hand, including Joanne Russell, the NBC tennis analyst, who's down in the truck right now giving a few pointers to producer Glenn Adamo and director John DeLisa. 3rd and 4 for the Colts. Steelers show blitz. Colts pick it up pretty well, and the pass is complete for a first down to James Noble. Larry Griffin spins Noble out of bounds. But the Colts convert to third down and keep the drive going. Here's our 10-minute ticker now as the NFL games enter the second half. Miami and the Jets tied up. New England with Doug Flutie putting it to the Houston Oilers, who had been in first place in the AFC Central and unbeaten since the strike. Cleveland shutting out Cincinnati. Cincinnati is here next week. That's one of the great rivalries, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Pitch it to Brown, tries to get outside and can't. Stopped just short of midfield, and a flag goes down late after only a 1-yard gain. Stowe made the tackle, but the flag came late.
I think it's going to be a holding penalty, so I don't think we're going to see it, but you're going to look at the runner going bodies there. Good defense by the Steelers.
Holding, 83 offense. First down.
Greg Hawthorne guilty of the hold. On the left of your screen, number 83.
Which is the outside arm. You see it there. There's officials out there at the sideline that have a perfect view. You could take a snapshot of that arm grabbing him. You just cannot, as a tight end or anybody on the outside line of scrimmage, have your outside arm because they can see it.
Penalties have killed the two teams today at various crucial situations. It's 1st and 20 now for Indianapolis, back to the 38 of the Colts. Brown across the 40 to the 41-yard line, got 3 or 4 yards. Michael Minter stopped him after a short gain. 7-7 the score with 6:42 showing in the third quarter of play at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. A couple of teams with identical 2-2 records. The Colts tied for first in the AFC East, and the Steelers tied for second in the AFC Central. The Colts have never won at Three Rivers Stadium. 2nd and 15. Blair Kiel in trouble. In and out of the hands of Bellini. Kiel saw the man coming right in his face and let the pass go for Bellini, who couldn't get it.
Steelers have 4 linemen and they're rushing. Look at him crossing. Look out for Minter. He's coming right in. They're on him. It's a good throw. Excellent throw. I don't know how a quarterback only 6 foot tall like Blair Kiel can get that ball through a man that's 6'4" like Minter coming right down in his head. But he did. And Bellini has to catch that ball.
And we apologize for some of the audio difficulties we're having throughout the day. 3rd and 15. Blair Kiel being chased. Incomplete. Murray's looking for the interference call, but he can't get it. Pass was high. Murray went up to get it. They say he has about a 28-inch vertical leap. Sheffield was defending.
Well, let's take a look.
Oh,
yeah, that's interference. Call the flag. Throw the flag. But unfortunately, there is no review for penalties.
He had him by the arm. Watch this. He grabs Murray's arm just before the ball gets there. That's interference.
Yep. Got away with it, but that's the way life is.
Kiel on 4th down. Good high punt. Lockett at the 15. Stopped short of the 20-yard line. 42-yard punt by Blair Kiel. 5 minutes, 56 seconds left in the third quarter. We'll take a timeout. The score tied 7-7.
The new Remington Microscreen Ultimate with the exclusive beard lifter stretches the skin and lifts whiskers other shavers leave behind. The new Remington Microscreen Ultimate shaves as close as a blade and closer than any other electric shaver, or your money back.
How much longer till we get there?
About 20 minutes.
Anti-lock brakes, internationally patented suspension, uncanny control. Conventional luxury sedans are built to survive accidents. The BMW 528e is built to avoid them.
Let's see if they're okay.
Professor! I thought only students fell asleep in your class.
Or just trying to get these finals graded?
You ought to revive with Vivarin.
Oh, Vivarin helps wake you up.
Government-appointed experts confirm Vivarin is effective.
Revive with Vivarin.
Listen to the sound of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave sets up my beard, so my shaver shaves closer, and I get a smoother shave. Listen to Williams Electric Shave. The sound of a closer, smoother shave.
I had to try this to believe it. Denerex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Selsun Blue, no tingle.
Both Denerex and regular Selsun Blue have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine.
So long, Selsun Blue. Hello, Denerex.
It's America's Day at the races. The Breeders' Cup, coming November 21st to NBC.
We're back at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. We haven't gotten the crowd count yet, but expected to be 25, 30, 35,000. We don't know for sure. They're pretty well distributed throughout the stadium here today. And here are the Steelers with a 1st and 10. Jackson. And Grimsley finally makes the tackle after a 39-yard gain by Jackson.
Hey, just great offensive line block, and look at, there is nobody there. Blankenship is still on his man. It breaks right through the hole. Now Grimsley makes a great play to stop a touchdown here. I don't know how linebackers can be that fast, but he does do a great job. There he is. The last bit of burst of speed. He's going to pull his pants down.
For the 11th time in his career, Jackson is over 100 yards. The pass intended for Stone on 1st down goes incomplete. First 100-yard gain by an individual against the Colts in 1987. Jackson has carried 17 times, 118 yards, in the 11th game in his career that he's gone over 100 yards. He had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons in his career, one with San Diego, one with Philadelphia, and had 910 yards last year with Pittsburgh, the Steelers' #1 rusher, as he went to the Pro Bowl. Here's Jackson again, and stopped at the 40. Ed Grimsley makes the tackle for the Colts.
Grimsley has 19 tackles in the last 2 games he's played. Again, a slightly small linebacker at 6 foot tall, but since they put him in the game, he's one of these people we call gamers. They may not impress you in practice. You put him in a game, the guy plays great.
Steelers have it 3rd and 9 at the 40-yard line of the Colts. Four and a half minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Game tied at 7. Bono to pass. In trouble. Incomplete. Good defense by Mike Pryor of Indianapolis, as Stallworth was the intended receiver, and they put good pressure on Bono as well. This Indianapolis defense has risen to the occasion today.
They certainly have. Big plays. A lot of times when a team comes up with a big play like the Ernest Jackson run, defenses give in. Just playing awfully good defense here. Good rushing. Man, good pass defense. The whole ball of wax by the Colts.
Bruno to punt on 4th down. Nobody deep for Indianapolis. They almost blocked the punt. Bounces at the 4 and goes into the end zone for the touchback. And the Colts will have it at their 20-yard line with 4:14 left in the 3rd quarter.
Look at that guy. Bruno was his name, the punter. There should be a linebacker with a name like Bruno. Doesn't he look kind of tough? Would you like to rush him and have him bop you one right in the nose for getting too close?
I like it in training camp where they put your name across the top of your helmet. Bruno.
Jesus heck, they were on top of me, Coach.
Well, here in Pittsburgh, they took a poll earlier this week about how people felt about the replacement games. Would you rather see represent the Steelers, the regular players, or the replacement players? We'll have the answer to the poll in a moment. Pitch it to Brown. Brown gets about 7 yards on the sweep before Cornell Gowdy takes him out of bounds. Well, with over 500 respondents to the poll conducted by WPIX, regular players, or WPXI, excuse me, regular players drew only 12%. Pittsburgh's a strong union town, right? No way. Replacement players, 88% of the respondents to the WPXI poll said they would prefer to see the replacement players represent the Steelers. And if the signs reflect the sentiment, that is true of the fans at Three Rivers today. Fighting for yardage is Gordon Brown, and not getting much. Donnie Shell came up strong to make the tackle from his safety spot with help from Avon Riley, and it's going to be about a half yard short of the first down. Third down and less than a yard for Indianapolis. They've lost their leading rusher, Chuck Banks. What kind of play do they call here?
I don't know. I'm looking for a trick. Every now and then Ron Meyer pulls a little thing out of a hat in a game like this. That's my opinion.
High formation in the backfield. Second man through is Melvin Carver, and he'll be close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot. Carver was the tailback in the I formation. Shell again gets credit for the tackle, and they may have to measure.
Well, obviously I'm not coaching the team, but this play didn't work very well anyway. They didn't trick him. Fourth down, 30-yard line.
It will be fourth down, and you see the yard marker just that close to where they have to go for the first down. 7-7 game, 3-13 third quarter, and Ron Meyer's going to go for it on 4th and inches. Brown is the fullback, Carver the tailback in the I. Tight formation. Hawthorne in motion. Carver, he dives for the first down. Carver went airborne and lugged it to the 32-yard line, and the Colts convert a fourth down. Dave Edwards making sure Carver stayed down. Watch him go airborne.
And watch nobody meets him airborne. There's nobody there. It's easy to jump over the lineman laying on the ground, but if there has to be some linebacker that catches him midair. You usually see on a good defensive play, 2 people jump and meet midair. That time, no linebacker.
After a slow start, the Colts have gotten the offense going. First down at their own 32. 7-7 game, approaching the 2-minute mark, third quarter. Blair Kiel has a man wide open. Bellini takes it to the 47-yard line, and another Colt first down. Chris Sheffield stops Bellini, but it's a 15-yard gain, and the Colts get another first down going.
You feel sort of a sense that the Colts understand what they're doing now. They seem to be getting the game in their hands. They're not doing anything fancy. They're executing their plays exceptionally well, and they're controlling the line of scrimmage.
I've been impressed with Blair Kiel today. I think Kiel has had an excellent game.
He's been throwing a lot of spirals. That's always nice to see.
7-7 game, a minute and a half left. Third quarter at Three Rivers Stadium. Pitch it to Brown. Good running by Brown to shake a couple of tacklers and take it into Pittsburgh territory down to the 48-yard line where he's pinned by Avon Riley. There's Brown out of Tulsa. First-year man, 5'11", 220. He lives here in Pittsburgh, carried 8 times for 26 yards, had carried the ball 10 times for an average of over 5 a carry coming into today's game.
Ron Meyer was looking for a man to back up Albert Bentley, who was really the only runner that the Colts had going into the replacement games. Banks and Brown could easily fit in after this is over.
2nd and 6 for the Colts inside the final minute of the third quarter. Kiel has another man open. It's Noble who takes it down to the 40-yard line. One of the Colts who dived on the stack there. I don't know if the ball came loose. We couldn't see it. It did indeed. There was a fumble, and Cornell Gowdy is recovered for Pittsburgh. We were blocked from the play. We couldn't see it. Let's watch the replay.
Well, you're seeing Bingham on the screen just making the play. Here's Noble. Is the ball out? You can't see it from here. It's right on the ground underneath Gowdy there, and Gowdy gets the ball. Have to take a look from another angle.
Just sort of a gift. Gowdy didn't know, but...
making sure the man's down, number 83, Hawthorne there.
Hawthorne diving on the pile after the fumble recovery was made. From this angle, you may see it come out. I still didn't see it come out, but there it is on the turf. And it's 1st and 10 for the Steelers at their own 40. Jackson tripped up but falls forward across the 45 down to about the 47-yard line, where Bob Ontko puts him on the turf. About 20 seconds left in the third quarter.
You know, Tom, we were talking about mistakes in this game. The Colts and the Steelers both were making mistakes in the first half. The Colts came up with one more mistake in the second half. They have been leading the NFL in takeaways. Now they're giving some back.
Just 5 seconds left in the third quarter, and the Steelers will not run another play. So that's the end of the third quarter of play here at Three Rivers. At the end of the third quarter, Indianapolis 7, Pittsburgh 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
On late night, George Steinbrenner and Billy Martin, Joe Namath, Charlie Sheen, and Dr. Ruth. Maybe she can help them, but it's a long shot.
MaxiCare Health America thinks it's time to cut the aggravation out of group health insurance. So we cut out claim forms, and we cut out annual deductibles. MaxiCare cuts the cost of preventive care, too. There's no charge for routine exams and, well, child care. And if you do get sick, MaxiCare pays 100% of hospitalization. MaxiCare provides maximum medical care, not paperwork. Ask your employer about MaxiCare Health America.
There's a new beer in town, and it's called American beer.
I love the fresh, natural taste that's pure American. When I think about how good we have it here, I say my thanks and toast the glory of America with the one they call American beer.
There's only one they call American beer. Taste the glory.
At Pittsburgh National, we've been telling you about the pride we take in our performance. But don't just take our word for it. Try Pittsburgh National, and for 90 days, we'll give you free checking, a 1% bonus on savings, no interest charges on the first $1,000 you borrow, and a lot more. So put us to the test. You'll see the difference pride in performance makes, and you can save $200. Pride in performance. We've built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
Take me out of the ball game tomorrow at 4 on the People's Court.
Ron Meyer and Chuck Noll locked up in a 7-7 ball game as we start the fourth quarter. Teams with identical 2-2 records and right in the thick of their respective divisional races. 2nd and 4 for Pittsburgh. Jackson takes it straight ahead and picks up a Steeler first down. Ed Grimsley on the stop. Ernest Jackson already over 100 yards today. The 11th time in his career, and has 137 now on 20 carries. Most ever against the Colts was 205 by Deacon Dan Towler of the Rams back in 1953. Play action pass. Bono. It's complete on the sideline to Stallworth, who has another Steeler first down. Kerry Wright took him out of bounds. Now the Steelers have the offense going.
Watch number 74, long pull from his right to the left. It gives you the running look. And look what happens. There's no linebackers in the picture. Good route, good catch for his 504 for career reception.
And his 5th on the afternoon. First down for the Steelers at the 33 of Indianapolis. Opening seconds of the fourth quarter of a 7-7 game. Jackson stopped in his tracks as the Colts come with a strong defense against the run that time. Jeff Lighting, an outside linebacker, led the charge. Of Texas. Stats at the end of 3 quarters of... Here are the stats after 3 quarters of play. And the Steelers holding the edge in yards rushing. The Colts lead in passing. Total yards pretty close. And the score 7-7. 2nd and 13, Pittsburgh. Stone cuts back. And he's stopped at about the 28-yard line by Terry Wright, who fought off a blocker and made a saving tackle. Or Stone was on his way to a touchdown after a brilliant cutback. Six coming up for the Steelers. We're still having those audio problems. We're sorry, and nothing we can do about it. About half the time I can't hear you, Dave, and I'm sure it's likewise. Again, to Chuck Sanders, who just came in the game, and he toasted down to the 17-yard line.
Well, we may be having some audio difficulties, but the Steelers are not having no ground-getting difficulties. Good blocking, good running, moving the ball down there. They have the ball on the 17-yard line, and it finally looks like they're getting their game back into kind of a predictable pattern.
Sanders out of Slippery Rock, carrying the ball that time. He's carried it 3 times this afternoon. And it's 1st and 10 for the Steelers at the 17 of the Colts. Jackson again, flags down. It looked like the Colts may have come offside. Grimsley made the tackle, and it's possible the Colts were drawn off. Let's see.
Looks like they're going to call holding on the Steelers.
That would be even worse for the Steeler cause.
Just as they get things going, they make another mistake.
Which has been the story of this game, really, for both teams.
The brain press there working hard.
Holding, 68 offense. Offside, 93 defense. Offsetting foul.
68, that big low in the middle of your screen. Look at his right arm go right over the top of his back. A technique that linemen should use is to keep the elbow in tight to the body. If you can keep your elbows in tight, 2 things happen. 1, you're more powerful, and 2, your hand doesn't get outside for holding.
Lighting was offside, though, for the Colts, so the penalty's offset, and it's 1st and 10 at the 17 for the Steelers. Sweeney in motion. The ball carrier is Stone, and he stopped back at the 22-yard line on a great tackle by Jeff Lighting, who'd just been offside. That time he looked like he beat the snap count because he was back there just as quickly as Stone. Dolphins and the Jets still battling tooth and nail, even at 17. Cleveland really putting it to Cincinnati and Seattle to Detroit. Seattle plays the Raiders next week. As we get back to veteran players, this is the last week, apparently, of replacement football. 2nd and 14 for Pittsburgh. Bono tripped up from behind and taken down at the 22-yard line. The tackle made by Bob Ham. And also Scott Keller getting a piece of him to trip him up. It'll be 3rd down coming up for the Steelers, 3rd and 13.
Steve Bono getting some pressure here. In the first quarter, he threw an interception in this situation. Now he puts the temptation off and says, I'm just going to make sure we don't do anything wrong, because it's still 3rd down. An interception on 3rd down is not half as bad as an interception on the 1st and 2nd one.
Scott Keller got a piece of the jersey to drag him down, setting up this 3rd and 13 from the Colt 20. 7-7 game, 10 minutes left. Bono again under pressure. Lets it go. Touchdown. Merrill Hodge, the rookie out of Idaho State, makes his first career touchdown reception.
Now watch this catch. Ball's up there, caught it in his hands. Running backs don't usually have the hands of a receiver, but he did on that play.
Trout for the extra point. And it's good. Steve Bono under pressure gets the touchdown pass to Hodge, putting the Steelers on top. 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Steelers now up 14-7. We'll be back in just a moment.
Cold pills travel all through your body before they relieve your stuffed nose. But Dristan nasal spray works faster. Plus, it has a special new ingredient to soothe and moisturize nasal passages. Dristan, relief right on the nose.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night. My Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Whatever happened to real food? You know, the kind that just tastes real good. Give me a steak and I won't be blue. I got a taste for some real food.
Beef, real food for real people.
Steelers take the lead after a 9-play drive that covered 59 yards and consumed over 5.5 minutes, with Hodge catching the touchdown pass 20 yards from Bono. Crowd ready to kick it off for the Steelers. There's a look at Kelly Johnson deep for Indianapolis. Short kick. Johnson at the 10-yard line. Got a seam up the middle, but couldn't get there as the flags fly everywhere. Williams made the tackle for Pittsburgh. Let's see the penalty markers. They were flying all over the lot. And it'll be a hold against Indianapolis. So the Colts once again will start in very poor field position. That has been the case throughout the game today.
Holding, 52 on the receiving. First down.
Penalty called against Chapman for holding on the return. Today's game is brought to you by Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. By AT&T, the right choice. And by Good News Plus, with the Lubra Smooth Strip for extra smoothness and comfort, only from Gillette. Tom Hammond and Dave Casper at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. 9:51 left in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh just scoring the go-ahead touchdown, 14-7. Indianapolis backed up to its own 11 with a first down. Blair Kiel goes long. He is looking for Murray. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Sheffield at the 40 of Pittsburgh. Gerald Williams putting the pressure on Blair Kiel, who let it go long, and it'll be picked off by Sheffield.
One point about the result of this play is they did move the ball 48 yards down the field. Had they not, I realize that may be a negative attitude, but they were again starting in their own territory. They came for the big play off the bat. You get them down right there, and the ball's moved 48 yards.
Steelers will have the ball up 14-7.
With the design and sound of the Delco Electronics music system, now the best seat in the house is in your GM car. Delco Electronics. It's who we are.
Pamela Hall, top buyer, around-the-world trips. You call your own shots.
It's fun.
But weren't you just caught trying to call America from Paris?
A silly misunderstanding.
By stuffing Greek drachma into a French phone?
I thought they'd fit.
And you need the AT&T card.
Oh?
With the AT&T card, you never need coins, even overseas. Your calls are billed automatically to your phone back home.
Beautiful.
So you'll take it, Pam?
It's the perfect accessory.
To get the AT&T card, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Hey, do-it-yourselfers, if you could take your family on a dream vacation anywhere in America, where would you go?
Well,
how about New York, Washington, L.A.? Yes,
really
30 families will go anywhere in America when they win the Stanley Dream America contest. Win free transportation on American Airlines, rooms at Holiday Inn hotels, rental cars from Budget, and up to $1,000 worth of Stanley tunes. Enter today. Look for this display at participating Stanley dealers. You could go anywhere, even Hawaii. Why didn't you say so?
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denerex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denerex.
Turnovers have been an important story in the game today, and the Colts have just committed their fourth as Sheffield picking off the Blair Kiel pass. Sheffield was quoted in the paper this morning as saying the strike has sort of upset his rhythm. He expects to be at his prime about this time of the year, and he is not. Coach Chuck Noll echoed those sentiments, saying he didn't think Sheffield was at his prime right now either. Ernest Jackson gets the call, and Jackson, who is enjoying his third 100-yard game out of 5 this season, gets only a yard or so on that one. He's the NFL's leading rusher, now with 369 yards to his credit. Second and 9 coming up for the Steelers. The ball on the Pittsburgh 43 and the clock ticking down toward the 9-minute mark. 14-7 Pittsburgh. Bono. Incomplete. Intended for Dwight Stone out of the backfield, but Bono did something that inexperienced quarterbacks don't often do there. He looked at his first receiver, his primary receiver, who was covered. His second receiver was covered, and he gave it to the little safety valve, and though the pass wasn't completed, he did look at 3 receivers on that play. Good point. Thank you. Did I get a little gold star or anything?
I couldn't say it better myself.
And, of course, I didn't give you time to. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Steelers. Chuck Sanders is the only setback, and he gets the handoff. Plows forward for a couple of yards. Stopped at the 45-yard line. It'll be 4th and long in a punting situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Again, I alluded to this. If the Steelers kick the ball and don't kick it well and the Colts return it, they can actually gain field position through the long interception. A long interception certainly is not as bad as, a 15 or 20 yarder. So that play might not have hurt him as bad as what it first appeared.
Bruno will punt, and John Simmons is the deep man this time for Indianapolis. High snap. Bruno pulls it down and gets the kick away. Simmons fields it at about the 18. Finally gets the handle and immediately surrounded by the black-shirted Steelers special teams members. 41-yard kick by Bruno, and they covered it well. We've got a timeout with 8:09 left in the game. The Colts have the ball, trailing by 7.
Fancy perfumey aftershave. It's got to be a quarterback's locker. Real guys who get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
There's something about today's Aqua Velva, man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
Delta Airlines flight attendant Irene Luckwitty loves to fly.
Are you still here? My son was supposed to meet me.
Well, I'll wait with you.
That kid is always late.
What she loves most are the people she meets.
He must have got caught in the rain.
He was even born late.
Irene is what Delta's all about.
Irene.
Yes?
Are you married?
Yep. 2 kids.
Late again, Joey.
Love to fly, and it shows. Look, they're my parents, and I tell you, they're acting different. I mean, they go dancing. Herbert and Jane dancing. I know, Mother thinks it's fun. She wears eye makeup now. I don't know what's gotten into them. Whose is this? Why don't they act their age?
To help them get more out of life, people are eating better. Some have found Kellogg's Product 19, 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals. Feel good about yourself.
Tennis? They don't play tennis.
Feel like 19 again.
Your face takes enough abuse, so you need the Gillette Good News Plus disposable. Its Lubra-Smooth strip is designed to reduce irritation, so shaving feels so good. Good News Plus.
You look at the opposing quarterbacks in today's game. What kind of marks do you give Blair Kiel and Steve Bono?
Other than some mistakes that I don't think they should have made as far as inexperienced mistakes, I think they both played on a level of NFL quarterback.
See the statistical comparison. Bono with the 2 touchdown passes, the difference in the game right now. It's Stallworth with 1 and Hodge for the 2nd. And the Colts have it 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Again, they have not started a drive from beyond their own 20 today. Blair Kiel. First down pass to Murray. Complete for a first down. Murray was wide open. He has a lot of speed, does the youngster from Hawaii, and they were giving him a lot of cushion in the secondary.
Just getting a zone. Blair Kiel sprints out, throws the ball, a nice throw, nice catch. If they can get a zone and they call that play against it, they're going to gain that yardage every time.
Today's attendance, 34,627. Just about what they expected at Three Rivers Stadium. And the fans coming out on a beautiful afternoon in Pittsburgh. They'll be here in force, I'm sure, next week as the Steelers take on the Bengals of Cincinnati. From the 31, first down for the Colts. Kiel under pressure. Too high and picked off. Avon Riley with the interception. The pass from Kiel was too high off the hands of the intended receiver, Bellini. And for the 2nd time today, Bellini can't handle the high one, and it goes off his hands for the interception.
Okay, it is a high pass, but a receiver always has to stop the ball. You always put your hands above the ball, and if you miss it, you make sure it goes right down in front of you. Never let that ball get by you because there's people back there.
And that's twice today it's happened to Bellini. Kiel can't believe it. Steelers have intercepted at least 1 pass every game this year. That's the 5th Indianapolis turnover. 1st and 10s for the Steelers as Stone gets the call, and not much. He's bulldogged to the ground at about the 35-yard line by Ricky Chapman. 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7. Here's the way the game has gone. The Steelers scoring first after an Indianapolis fumble. Stallworth caught the pass. The Colts came right back to tie it before halftime. And then here in the 4th quarter, the Steelers with another touchdown pass reception by Hodge this time to lead 14-7. 7:22 on the clock. And the Steelers with the ball 2nd and 7 at the 35 of Indianapolis. Stone. Stone cuts it back up the middle and would appear to have enough for the first down before Mike Pryor stops him. Mike Webster, the 14-year veteran, the 8-time Pro Bowler, anchoring the center of that line.
Mike Webster lets him come in the pass rush. He sticks with him. Watch, just stays with him. Mike Webster, if you watch him come out of the huddle this time, he'll run the line of scrimmage. Every time he runs up to the ball, and he's a 14-year veteran.
Webster and his fellow Warriors on the offensive line have had the running game going today. Stone has gained 63 yards. Jackson, who has the ball here, already over 100. Short gain for Jackson that time, maybe a yard before Perryman spins him down. The Jets have finally broken that tie to lead Miami 24-17 now as we review the scores on the ticker. Houston's going to fall out of a first place in the AFC Central. They had it all by themselves. Cleveland shutting out Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium. Second and 10 for the Steelers. Stone hit hard as he gains 3 yards perhaps. Ed Grimsley gets credit for another tackle with help from Ricky Chapman. Mike Webster, a 14-year veteran of the Pittsburgh Steelers. John Stallworth, also in his 14th year, and Donnie Shell. And of course, they all have 4 Super Bowl rings. Steelers have converted only a couple of times in 10 third downs today. It's 3rd and 7 right here. Bono completes it to Stallworth. Fights for first down yardage and gets it. John Simmons couldn't stop him from getting across that first down marker.
John Stallworth goes down the field now. Right now he's faking a crossing pattern. He goes back to the outside. Watch him catch the ball and watch how he knows exactly where the first down marker is. He's not nervous. He just gets to it.
John Stallworth has 6 catches for 52 yards today, including that score. Big afternoon for the veteran. 1st and 10 from the Colt 14. Jackson to the 10-yard line. He may have fumbled.
Down by Lighting.
Lighting making the tackle for Indianapolis. The ball will be Pittsburgh's at the 10-yard line. Jackson already has gained over 130 yards, 135 to be exact. Leading ground gainer in the NFL.
You'll see, watching another trap play. We've watched them all day long. Was he on the ground? Was there a fumble? I think they recovered it anyway.
They did, and it's 2nd and 6 from the 10. Stone hit behind the line of scrimmage, gets away from one man, finally gets a couple of yards out of it when it looked like he'd be stopped for a loss of 4. Chapman again on the tackle. Stone has showed us some good cutback ability here.
He's got a good ability to see other things than what's right directly in front of him. Peripheral vision is a great advantage for running back.
Stone is a rookie out of Middle Tennessee State University, where he gained over 1,000 yards as a senior. 3rd and 6 for the Steelers. They're at the 10-yard line of the Colts, leading 14-7. Just over 3 minutes to play. All alone is Sanders. Touchdown.
Watch them catch him. They catch him in a blitz. 4 wide receivers just hand the ball off on a little kind of a Statue of Liberty look, and you see the touchdown.
And here it is from the end zone as Sanders, who is from Pittsburgh and played at Slippery Rock, gets the NFL score, his first professional touchdown. Terry Wright hits him, but can't stop his momentum from carrying him into the end zone. Trout puts the finishing touches on with the extra point. And the Steelers have apparently put the game away, scoring a touchdown with 3 minutes left in the game, taking advantage of another Indianapolis turnover, converting it into points, and going up 21-7. Well, Dave, as we have viewed this game, and we said at the start of the show that for many of the replacement players, it would be their last hurrah. And we'll ask you in the final 3 minutes here to think about some of the players who may be able to make the NFL teams when the regular players come back. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, who do you think might be able to make the Steelers squad? Here's some people to think about.
Well, Chuck Noll started Alston today in the game because he thinks he's done a good job. That means something right there, the fact that he started him ahead of John Stallworth. Yeah, Collier's been playing, talk about World Series. Collier came in last week, I think, and threw four completions for 52 yards. So he's been doing well, but I think perhaps Gowdy and Griffin also have a shot. To get inside of Chuck Noll's head, he's just going to sit there and smile at you. He's not going to give you any pertinent information. Another key is that maybe more than 4 might make it. You don't know who on that team was on a vulnerable situation before the strike.
Noble deep for Indianapolis and takes it to about the 17-yard line. And we don't know what's going to happen with the rosters. There will be some sort of taxi squad like the old taxi squad apparently come into effect. Teams can keep up to 85 players, and maybe the rosters will increase in size. We don't know. Here are some players that might be able to make it with the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, I think Noble has had an excellent receiving, done excellent receiving job so far. Banks and Thorpe, I think, have a good shot. You look at some other possibilities. All these people have possibilities. A key is the bottom 20 ball players on any one team are not significantly better than the top 20 ball play. I mean, than the top 20 replacement ball players.
And do you think that some of these players that have gotten a chance will stick in the mind of the coaches?
Oh, I think not only that, but I think the coaches are now saying, I know a person who's on our team that this person might be better than.
What do you think will happen with the rosters now? Are the rosters going to eventually increase to 49, even though the strike is over and no concessions were made by the owners in that department?
I think the rosters in the long run are going to end up at 49, but right now you might see an 80-man team with 45 active and 40 non-active because, hey, anything's possible in a cartoon, and that's what it's been for the last 3 weeks, a cartoon.
Well, one thing's for sure, we like your tie. You have a beautiful tie today. We shopped for that before today's game to get Dave a nice tie, and we've got him surrounded with audio wires now, and we're at last hearing him. Blair Kiel hits his man, Joe Jones, the tight end. He's short of the first down. Takes it to about the 24-yard line. In the fourth quarter, the Pittsburgh Steelers have controlled the ball. Look at that. The Colts have had it for only 43 seconds in this quarter. That's Chuck Noll football, possession football.
One thing about good, hard football, it'll wear you down. If Rocky Marciano used to fight that way, hit you in the arms until the final end part of the fight, he was beating you in the face.
Blair Kiel gets it away as he goes down. It'll go incomplete.
There's Avon Riley in on the play.
And Michael Minter was there as well, putting the pressure on Blair Kiel. They almost had the sack.
Now you have to wonder if the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't just wearing him down. I mean, they're getting back to Blair Kiel. He's doing the best he can, but I think his ship is starting to sink.
And on fourth down, he's going to punt with Lockett deep for Pittsburgh. What about Blair Kiel? Gary Hogaboom is out now for a few weeks. Suffered a broken rib and a punctured lung on a quarterback sneak a week ago against the Jets. Kiel normally the third quarterback. Next week when Jack Trudeau returns, will it be Trudeau that gets the job back, or will Kiel be in there?
Yeah, that's a $63,000 question at least.
Lockett fumbled the ball, picked it up, and then is swarmed under by the Colts. Back at the 22-yard line, Kiel gets credit for a 49-yard punt. Well, we've got the 2-minute warning right now with only a minute 53 left in the game. We'll take a timeout for the 2-minute warning with the Steelers leading the Colts 21-7. Steelers on top before nearly 35,000 here. We understand 46,000 in Chicago, 40,000 in Cincinnati. Good crowds for this last week of replacement football. Dave, you were a player in the 82 strike when there was no opportunity to play. The camps, the games were shut down. If the situation were like this year, though, would you have crossed the lines to play?
It would have been tough. At 82, there was no way in the world that a ball player was going to cross the line because we thought that we were right. And this year, I think I would have had a tough time, especially as a veteran, saying, we did this before. We said we weren't going to strike. All of a sudden, now we are going to strike. I would say I think my leadership has their head in the clouds, and I'm not willing to go out with you guys.
After this play, we'll give you the thoughts of Mike Webster on why he chose to come in and play. Hodge gets the carry for Pittsburgh.
Speaking of Mike Webster, I really think that they ought to set the owners and the player reps down and all have them listen to Mike Webster and just listen to what Mike Webster has to say.
Well, I think the strike of 82 probably helped me make up my decision right now to come in and play during this period because the strike really is an all-lose situation. Everybody loses, players, owners, fans, and I felt there wasn't going to be anything really accomplished by a strike, and I think down the road we've got to learn to settle these differences that we have between the players and management without shutting down the game.
There are the thoughts of Mike Webster. He's been in 8 Pro Bowls. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame. He chose to come back and play, and he makes some good points. In fact, I thought John Madden had some good points. He said, nobody thought about the integrity of the game. Who's protecting the game? Certainly not the owners, not the players, and no one has looked after the quality, the integrity of the game, and that's what's been lost.
I think each side is looking at each other as the enemy. Each side has to realize they're in this thing together, and they've got to be able to get some ideas of helping each other instead of hurting each other.
Sanders gets the call on a second down and takes it past the 40 for a Steeler first down. Keep the clock going, coming to a minute and a half. Mike Pryor makes the stop for Indianapolis. So the Steelers will push their record now to 3-2, and the Colts will lose for the first time since the strike and go to 2-3 on the season. First down from the 41-yard line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 21-7 Steelers with just over a minute left in the game. Sanders Nothing there. Stopped for a loss on the play. Well, we invite you to join Hall of Famer Earl Anthony and our friend Jay Randolph for another year of the Pro Bowling Fall Tour, beginning with a $150,000 Kodak Invitational from Rochester, New York. That's coming your way Saturday, October 31st on NBC. We'll take a break and be right back.
These days, people talk a lot about truth in labeling. At Budweiser, we started our own truth in labeling program over 100 years ago. And what was true 100 years ago is still true today. Budweiser, the king of beers.
What kind of women go to auctions looking for a date?
Arnie's up for grabs. But is he buying trouble?
I intend to get my money's worth.
L.A. Law, Thursday.
2nd and 12 for the Steelers with just 51 seconds left. Pittsburgh on top 21-7. Hodge picks his way for a yard or two. Well, Glenn Adamo is the bowling man, but we have to give equal time here to the horses. We've got the Breeders' Cup Steeplechase coming up on Sports World October 31st. We'll have superstars also there. The Breeders' Cup Steeplechase coming away from Fair Hill, Maryland, and another Glenn Adamo production, the Superstars, sharing time on Sports World Saturday, October 31st, starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. While we have a moment here, we'd like to thank our spotters, Tim Fogarty and Mike McGinley, and George Jordan on stats this afternoon, helping us bring you the game from Three River Stadium. John Stallworth made history today. He caught pass number 500 in his career and scored his 62nd touchdown. It's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. And yes, today's MVP is John Stallworth, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs selected in today's games.
Well deserved.
3rd and 10 for Pittsburgh. 46 ticks of the clock remaining. Chuck Sanders. And, of course, we admit to a bit of sentiment in giving the MVP award to Stallworth, who caught 5 passes for 54 yards and the touchdown. We say sentiment because he did get that 500th career victory, or career catch, and go over that number. But also Ernest Jackson has had a whale of a game for the Steelers. He has rushed for in excess of 130 yards today, so you could have given the MVP to him as well. But John Stallworth has been one of the great ones, and we honor him with our Budweiser MVP today. Clock ticking down, just 5 seconds left now to the end of the game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers rack up the victory for the 3rd time this season. So that's the end of the game from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, with the Steelers beating the Colts by a final score of 21-7.